Hello, it is time to start the show. And I'm going to get started right after this.
Good evening, faithful. Happy Hump Day. It's Victory Wednesday. It's victory all week. I'm going to start by bringing in the good folks that always come in and join us. Oh, we got from Stockton, California, BC, Bryant Colt. We got from back east, unfortunately, somewhere in the vicinity of Giants territory, Melissa.
Hey.
The man from the city that's named after him, David Corona.
What's up?
From the Bay Area, Daly City, we got John J.
What's up, everybody?
What's up?
And from back east, and I think he may have already been experiencing that East Coast bias Wi-Fi, you know.
What's up, man? What's up, guys? Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, unfortunately we had a show on freaking Monday, you know, and the East Coast bias Wi-Fi took over and it didn't let it happen. You know, it's just it happens. You know, it's internet's not perfect, right?
Yep.
Optimum is awful.
But that just gives us that much more to talk about this the next show that we do the Niners Coast to Coast,
right?
But oh yeah, well, the next show is going to be the Super Bowl preview, and I don't know if Aaron's listening, but I was watching him earlier, and he's kind of nervous about having the preview on a show. Well, we'll figure something out though, you know.
Hey, McKnight, I got a question for you. Did you hear about when they built the Raider Stadium? They buried a Kansas City Chiefs banner or flag under the ground.
Now there's always something weird like that going on, you know, and typically it's a tall tale, you know. It's there's always a construction worker that did something, or you know, something crazy going on there, right? There's always a story, but I honestly don't know. I do know what that stadium looked like when I was taking off from the airport when I was heading out for the Giants game, and I was looking over at it like, that's new. That thing looks like it's 10 years old already. You know, it's maybe just the Vegas desert. You know, all the dirt and dust they have flying around, something. But it did not look like a new stadium.
I hate the Raiders.
That it's all black in the middle of the desert.
Yeah,
I freaking hate the Raiders, but that stadium is so nice. Not even.
No, it's not.
I could literally fill my Jeep, the tank, hop in it, and drive down there.
Also, I don't know. They call it the Death Star.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, it's a nickname.
During COVID, when it first opened and they couldn't have the draft there, they started calling it the Death Star.
Well, it's you know, the Raider, you know, the whole black hole thing. It looks like a giant meteor rock that smack in the middle of Vegas. Yes, everything else is. But it's funny that they made it the way they made it. In a couple of years, I don't see it being so shiny and black. It's going to be covered with a bunch of dirt, but I don't know. Hey, beautiful stadium. Supposedly the Kansas City Chiefs are like 4-0 there, and the 49ers are 1-0 there. So I'd like to give Kansas City their first loss.
You know what? Kansas City lost to both the Broncos and the Raiders this year, so they're not exactly
at home.
The most recent memory I had in that stadium with that stadium is the Patriots and the Raiders game where Jacoby Myers threw it backwards.
My last memory of that stadium was that god awful Nick Mullins 3-0 game.
When Jacoby Myers threw it
Oh,
backwards,
the
and he threw
30
it
to
right to
3
Chandler.
when they
He
beat the
threw it right
Raiders.
to Chandler
No,
Jones.
3-0 because the Raiders put up 0 points, and the Vikings won when they switched out Dobbs for Nick Mullins, and he got the field goal at the end of the game. And then, of
Oh
course,
wow.
4 days later, they put up 63 on the
Oh,
Chargers.
she's talking about this season, guys. They seriously did that. Yes, it was 3-0.
Oh yeah, 3-0. Yeah.
I would hate to have been in the stands for that. Oh,
That was
but
the
yeah,
Minnesota
you know
game.
that stadium did kind of resemble a rock that may have burnt up in the atmosphere.
Oh shoot! I
on the
completely
way in.
forgot
I
that
mean,
there's.
it was kind of
You gotta give them credit. They finally got rid of Brandon Staley, so
yeah, the Chargers did.
That was much
But
needed.
anyway, so it's the playoffs.
Playoffs?
Well, they're not playoffs. Yeah,
Playoffs.
I'm telling you. He will live forever. It does not matter. He will live forever because he said that,
well, he is technically in every other commercial over here in Jersey with the Kevin stupid commercial. I forget his last name.
Is he? Well, this is how we're all doing. And the only one, like,
Hart.
there
Kevin
were
Hart.
there were a few folks that picked the Ravens, but this is how we're all doing in the playoffs at this point.
I've only screwed up twice.
So
and that
Tony
was 'cause they were picked.
is 8-4. Why do I got you as 8-2? That's not right.
I only
You're
got
10
two
and 2.
picks wrong. I picked the
No,
Texans
you're
over
10-2.
the
You're 10-2. I got that wrong.
the Bills over the
Damn,
Chiefs.
Bebop and Juice is 11-1, and John Jay. Oh,
John
hell yeah.
Jay's 11-1. Bryant Culp's 8-4. I'm 10-2. I picked the Ravens instead of the Chiefs. Corona, you're 9-3. Carcass is 10-2. You're doing pretty good, buddy. Little Sponge bringing up the rear at 7-5.
Oh, he sucks.
Nathan Z at 9-3. Crazy Juice at 11-1. Bebop at 11-1. YTC, I got him down for 9-3, but I gotta actually check his video because I know he picked the 49ers. But I never saw his Chiefs Ravens pick.
I still like you, Sponge. I still like you.
For Spongy, don't pick him the 49ers. Pick him the KC.
No, put him
I
on the
gotta
Niners.
shut
He
this
always
down.
loses when he picks the Niners. I don't care.
Dude, look. So I actually went back and did some research. All right. So Little Spongy, his picks against us, we won a lot of those. Yeah. When he picks us,
he loses.
Yes, he loses. Well, when he picks us, we win, though.
Oh yeah, we win, but
we win.
Yeah.
So me hearing that he's picking the Niners, it's like, thanks, buddy.
Right.
But yeah, at this point, we got that Detroit game. Shout out to that Detroit Lions defensive back that looked back at the perfect time for the ball to bounce off his face mask.
Ladybug.
It was just incredible. It was incredible timing on his part, and and incredible awareness for Ayuk to go, oh, look at his face, and then he catches it.
Yeah, did you guys see watch Sports Center and he got pissed the hell off that he was only number 2 on the top 10 plays?
Oh, it should have been number 1.
And Lamar Jackson was number 1 for his deflected almost interception.
Okay, Lamar's was nice. Lamar's was nice, but it can't be Ayuk. It can't be Ayuk.
Ayuk got number 2 though.
He got so mad. He went viral on Sports Center, cussing up a storm. He's like, "What shit is number 1?" And then he just like lost it. It was so hilarious.
I would have been the same way.
When you can throw a touchdown to yourself, I mean, like.
We need a ladybug go on Jake Moody's feet so he can make
that's different. But Lamar
Brian, like he threw an almost pick. It was like batted down, and he had to run to go make something out of it. Positive.
Which made it even look cooler. He ran to it, ran past 3 guys, and still caught it.
Look, what puts the Ayuk catch above that play is it bounced off the defensive player's face. How can you, when it comes to
It wasn't
playoff
just that,
history,
it
how
was-
many times has that happened? Okay,
It was
let's talk
Brandon
about
was-
this for a minute.
From the back of his jersey, right, by the same defender, I'm pretty sure. Then it bounces off the guy's helmet and like goes right through his hands are like this and his arms. And Brandon still stays with the play, catches the play, and then the flag was null and void because Brandon stuck with it.
And he was going. His momentum was him falling down too. So he had to track the ball midair.
Yeah.
I get it. Makes sense.
Yeah, Sentinel. He is associated with Bisque Vegas.
Yeah.
Who? Oh,
Yeah.
YTC.
Yeah. There's a bit of.
He's one of my guys though. He's cool.
Yeah. Basically, well, what I've been told is that there's a little friction between those guys.
I haven't been paying attention to what's going on over there. I occasionally pop in and say hi to him.
Yeah.
You know, that's about it.
I know.
And I noticed TRL's got like some group streaming on his channel, and he's not even there. I'm like, what the heck's going on here?
Oh, that basketball thing.
Well, those are two different podcasts. He has one. It's called the Around the Valley.
Yeah, I think that was it. I don't.
But he's not on the show
today.
though.
I listened to it for a minute.
No, but it's two different ones. I think Mitch Kofsky runs this one. It's called the Pick and Roll, and then he has his own with Around the Valley with him, Michael, YTC.
Oh,
Randy.
yeah.
Oh, okay. So that must have been the pick and roll one earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah, for so many 49er content creators go on all the time. It's like that's what I click on. It's what I listen to.
Right.
I'm glad I slow charge my phone at work because when I get home, it still has like 30% left from all the lives that go on all day.
Damn.
You kidding? If I fast charge it, I'd have to plug it in. But I slow charge it. So the battery actually lasts longer. There's a life hack for you folks.
Yes. Hope you're listening, Lily.
Yeah, that guy is something different, Michael.
Well, hey, so how does everybody feel, David?
I feel good, man. Get ready to
What do I feel? We're heading to the Super Bowl.
I kind of feel like
Yeah.
Lamar. I kind of feel
Can I
like
share a
Lamar.
story?
There's a moment in the Ravens game with the Chiefs, and Lamar was scrambling, and he had a moment to keep running. And he kind of like did like this, where he stopped a little bit. I don't know. I question that a little bit.
I don't even think it's
My cousin wants to bet me 150. Should I do it?
Do it.
All right, you got it.
Throw in a facial shave or something like that. Make
I
him
don't
shave
even
his
think
eyebrow or something.
I don't even think it was Lamar's fault that they lost. Zay Flowers just sold that game by himself.
Because not only do you
Shave
lose
his
money,
eyebrow. Hold on. Shave his eyebrow. Would he be willing to do that live on YouTube?
oh man,
Oh my God. You serious?
not only is it money that you're losing, but when you have to shave your eyebrow or something like that, people are like, you lost a bet, huh? It hurts twice.
Oh my, that's
Can I share a
nasty.
story?
Sure.
You know, there's some truth to this. Rumbo is our Walter Comcrack. Yes.
Ronbo Sports. I haven't heard that dude in a while.
Oh man, gotta check him out.
I used to be subscribed. I occasionally tune in and watch him. I used to be subscribed, but there are so many other content creators to keep up with. I only have so much time in a day.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I really like Rombo. He's my big brother. Rombo, first YouTube channel, first YouTube video ever I did with Rombo.
Mhm.
So, has anyone been paying attention to the talking heads on Purdy?
No.
Yes.
I'm outside. Don't lock it yet.
So where'd they move the goalpost to now? Now that he's come back from 3 scores down, which they said it's not 2 scores down. Okay, there's 3. We saw your 2 scores down and raised you 1 more. So
most of the people have gone back on the Brock Purdy is a good quarterback thing. I mean, you have your outliers. So you have Chris Russo or Mad Dog Russo hates on the Niners. Has hated on the Niners all year long. He's not going to change. You still have your Nick Wrights that are never ever going to change, especially because they're petty little Chief fans who got 20 tattoos. And then you have guys like Skip Bayless who are just a troll for no reason. And guys like Ryan Clark who been hitting on Purdy last week in what he said, and now has moved his fire over to the defensive line and is now calling the defensive line Care Bears. Overly priced. But right now, a lot of people are also saying that Brock Purdy's only getting a reprieve because there's no way he's going to beat Mahomes. Even if he does, he's going to be the same ilk with Trent Dilfer and Nick Foles and these other, Brad Johnson and these guys that get like one ring and just kind of disappear and aren't really respected or talked about.
Okay, Carcassa, are you whipping like something? Like,
Hi, Bebop.
That sounded insane. Yeah, whatever you were just doing.
Are you cooking popcorn?
Oh, that's a good.
He's making steak.
Because I hear a microwave.
I mean, maybe he's tenderizing some steak or something. That was like. But anyway, so. At this point, the talking heads can talk all they want. Oh, he's a good QB. He's not great. Now they're just still saying what they were saying before, just in a nicer way.
You know who shockingly has turned on him though is Rich Eisen. Like Rich Eisen, like all year, like pro Purdy and pro Mayfield, even joking that they're like his third and fourth sons. And now they're
Bebop, like, I think.
Purdy
did I send you the link?
I can send the link on text message if you want. I got his number.
Oh, you do?
You want me to send it?
I do too. I think I sent it to him on Twitter. If you need to send it another way, or if you just can't join, it's cool.
I had Falk on the last week, and he kind of like made a pivot when Marshall Falk kept pointing out that Purdy was kind of like in his head and was playing a little scared during the Packer game. And the longer Marshall would talk, the more Rich was kind of like buying into that whole Purdy doesn't have it up here thing and how he doesn't have that instinct to put away big games and handle big games and stuff. So I'm not saying that Rich Eisen hasn't been a huge supporter of it. He was very adamant. That's why I said it was shocking how fast he turned with just like one conversation.
I'm just checking my Twitter DMs here.
What's up, John LaJoy?
But keep an eye out for more folk. If they can make it, they can make it. If they can't, they can't. It just is what it is, right? But time to chat. Shout out the chat. We got our guy John LaJoy.
Hi, John.
What's going on, buddy?
What's up, John?
Got Bebop. He's faithful. Hopped on with me and Bryant. We were the first to have him on a show. Proud to say that. We got Dawn Dotson. What's going on? She Becky. She faithful.
What's up, Don?
Hey, we got the Sentinel.
Yep.
What's up, Sentinel?
He's got a channel, folks. Go check him out.
Hi, Sentinel.
What's up, Jack?
Oh, here we go. And the other crew is going live right now. But more of our people. More of our people are going
I think
live
Gammon
now.
Brown wants to hop on.
Where is he?
In the chat. Like the newest comment.
Bryant, can you, if I text you the link, would that make it easier for you?
No, I'll copy it. I'll just do it. Give me a second, Gammon. I got it.
Okay. I don't think I have him on anything.
So can I share my story about this past game?
Nathan Z, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, what's up, Nathan? I haven't talked to you for a while. How you doing?
Melissa wants
Who Oh, I'm still shouting out. Oi! Niner Tiger. What's going on?
What's up, Niner Tiger?
I need to hide my banner. It's still up. Slacking. Crazy Juice.
What's up, Crazy
buddy?
Juice? Hop on.
Yeah, screw the NFL experts. He's right. If you want to hop on, I can DM you the link on Twitter or send it to IG if you want to, Crazy Juice. Let me know.
Yeah, hop on, Crazy Juice.
Tommy Huxley. I actually sent him the link if he can hop in, if he wants to.
What's up, Tommy?
What's up, buddy?
Hey, that Marissa, that remember that hangout we did? What, Mike? That was crazy.
Got Jess in the house.
What's up, Jess?
Thanks for popping in.
Hey, Jess.
Hey, Jess.
Good show today. That was a great guest.
So check
I
the Twitter.
know. She knows folks. She's
That's
like
crazy.
Yeah, she knows folks.
That's crazy.
You know, she got George Kittle's sister, and wasn't that his dad?
His dad and his
Bruce
mom.
and Emma Kittle.
No, that was his sister, wasn't it?
No, it's his dad and his mom,
Emma
right?
Kittle. The sister's name is Emma.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
oh,
that's his sister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's that? That was CMC's lady or his sister?
No, George Kittle. CMC's.
No, it was
different.
George Kittle's sister.
Sister.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got. Now I don't, know players' families very well, so when they popped in, I was like, oh, look at that.
I know a couple. I know Fred Warner since they have a podcast together. Then.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Sydney.
They do.
I know
They
CMC.
do.
CMC's couple. That's it. And they actually read your comments too. The Warner House, they read your comments. So
the Kittles actually do a podcast called, I think, Hidden Gems with George Kittle.
Yeah.
Is it the Hidden Pearls? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, do we have to bother with who's winning? Well, that's next week. We'll talk about that all next week.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's good.
That's a nice head.
That's their logo. I won that from East Coast Red and Gold. That's how I found out about Kittle's podcast.
Oh, hell yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome. One of these days, maybe we'll be cool. Be able to get a player on or something.
Oh yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Keep
I'm not gonna harass anybody or force them to.
So if you guys could have your
they had Spencer Burford on earlier this year too.
So if you guys could have your dream player on, who would it be?
Ooh. One of my favorite 49ers all time, Ronnie Lott. I would love to hear stories about, back then. Love to. And I would 100% want him to tell the story on the pinky. 100%.
He chopped his pinky?
Chopped the tip of his pinky off. Yep. But I would want him to actually tell the story, though.
So that was
who better to tell it, right?
Mine would be Justin Cowboy Smith, but I'd probably be like so starstruck. I just like stare at him in awe the whole time.
Jerry Rice for me.
Did you see Jerry Rice on the Warner House, Corona?
Oh no, I haven't subscribed to him yet.
Oh, yeah, Corona, I'll send you the channel. I'll send you the channel link.
Okay.
I'll send you the link though.
It's probably not hard to find. I bet I could find it just searching. Ooh, Crazy Juice says Patrick Willis.
Yeah, I'd just like to talk to Steve Young again. That'd be fun.
That would be fun.
I got Patrick Willis, baby.
Yep. Do I have Gammon on? Okay, do I have Gammon on Twitter, Brian? I don't know his Twitter.
I'm not sure. It should just be at Gammon Brown.
Oh,
I sent him the link though. And
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have him or not.
Put him in the chat. I put it in the chat too. That I sent it to him, and I'll share.
I'll keep an eye out. But yeah, at this point we're heading to the Super Bowl. Yeah, buddy, that was a crazy game. So we had like, on the show, Ty Austin actually had a good idea. He wanted us all to think of a play. And me rewatching it as many times as I have 8. So what was I doing? I was searching the Warner household, right?
I have the link, but
you know who my pick is, McNiner, for the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah. We'll do all that next week.
Oh, hell yeah!
Because it's a bye week, kind of ish.
It's flag football week.
I'm so glad we're not in the Pro Bowl.
Hey,
so glad.
Maybe I can do some research while we're right here and think of something, and talk about, because they have skills competitions and whatnot.
Oh hell yeah! That's why I want to watch.
Shout out to the 9 players that now get the Pro Bowl nod and a bonus for making the Pro Bowl because we're not going.
Dodgeball is my.
The link in a DM, but I can't
I watched the dodgeball. That stuff's fun, dude. Reminds me of my days.
Also,
dodgeball's fun.
Also, I want to let Carcast know that I said that the Niners will be in the Super Bowl and the Eagles will have to play the Pro Bowl.
Oh yeah, man.
Did you guys see the Cowboys all over X celebrating that they have 3 more Pro Bowlers? That's how the Cowboys have fallen.
Oh, you mean that they have 3 more Pro Bowlers because we can't be there?
Exactly.
Oh. It's all good. They think that's the last 3 years while they're losing. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, we got the Pro Bowl. The flag football game.
See what you did, McNiner? When you said you want flag football, and you got it.
I know. It's my fault, folks. I'm sorry. Okay. I was actually watching it. I can't remember whose channel I was on, but I was on YouTube. And this is 2022, right? Before my channel was going. And I said, why are they even playing the game? Why don't they just play flag football? And next year, they're playing flag football. It was like, man, was it 2022? No, it was 2021. It was 2021 when I said that.
Still better than when they were showing that on NFL Network and they were throwing the quarterbacks throwing balls through different hoops or stuff that are being held up. Tug of war, dodgeball.
Here we go. Yeah, Joe Montana is the one I would like to meet on casual terms with. Like a sit-down interview. Something where we're supposed to be there, so it's not like I'm trying to stalk him for an autograph. Yeah, I've seen a few people, like, oh look, it's this guy, and then they, kind of bug them until they come over. But I'm not that way. Like, if I run into someone and I'm close enough, yeah, I'll be like, can I get a picture? Say hi to him, That happened with Joe Smith. Like, you've seen my Twitter. Like, my Twitter, I was looking at my Twitter. My icon is this. Let me turn my camera off. That's my icon. Spongy, it's never too late to join the Empire. Darth Vader's pointing at you, buddy. But
he said never. He said never that.
But then my picture like behind that, my picture, it's when the picture Tony took with Steve Young. So Bryant actually, this is the story. Bryant was taking a picture with my phone, but I had my timer on. So when he took it, it was like from us kind of stepping away from each other, right? And then Tony took another picture, and she ended up sending it to me. So shout out to Tony Culp. She's my hero.
Yeah, Miss Tony Curl.
That's still a super surreal moment. I mean, like, I guess when you start meeting more and more people, maybe it starts loosening things. But like for me, that's my hero, So like to meet Steve Young, like, and then just like nobody said he was gonna be there. It just like, wow, we got to go on the field, and like from there, that guy was like, "Hey, over there, Steve Young," and we're like, "Really?" And then next thing you know, someone's got a Sharpie, and it was Bex. Bex gave him a Sharpie. From there, it was like, wow. We started seeing everybody talking to him, and
Did you guys touch the grass?
yeah.
That's funny, Sentinel.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's like a funny. Joe is cool. Joe's really cool. But yeah, don't bring up Steve when you're talking to Joe. It's like you don't do that.
Well, it's one of those things. It's like when the Niners drafted Trey Lance and he was sitting behind Jimmy Garoppolo. Joe was like, "Oh, Jimmy should keep the starting job." It's like maybe there's a little something going on there from what happened back in the day. But that's rare that you have one Hall of Famer right after another. Green Bay did it. We did it. Is there any other team? Ooh, Gammon. Bringing in Gammon. What's good, buddy?
What's up? How we doing?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing, man?
Hey, fuck the Dodgers, but we're gonna get there. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh, wow.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, same thing. That's the Giants too.
Well, Tadi's not hitting the ball in the water. I'm calling
Yeah,
it.
he is.
That's funny.
Hey, shout out Corey Davis. This is a football channel.
Oh, sorry.
That's right. This is a football channel.
I'm sorry.
Corey, we get off topic. Corey be like, "Hey, this is a football channel."
but for real, DC, how are you feeling about these 49ers right now?
Oh, I'm excited.
They're different.
The sky's the limit. I don't think season's over. I think that they had a mission. I love what Kyle said in the locker room about this wasn't the game that we were going for. We got one more, and 2 games now. People are like, we can't win from behind. Well, we definitely can come from behind. I don't want to see that every game.
Whoa!
I'm just saying.
Slow down.
If they say you got a big lead, I'm not afraid. The Niners can score. The Niners can get it done. So
this 49ers team feels like every other anime I've ever watched. You know what I mean? Just like get shit on when you're younger, because how many of these guys were rookies, right? When we played the Chiefs the last time, right? And then they've just really grown, maturated, came into their own. And I think even Bosa said this. Nicholas John Bosa said he was just a rookie and he was along for the ride. Whereas this time he feels like he's kind of got a grip on the steering wheel, and now he feels like he's part of the. And that's a different feeling, and you really see it during these playoffs. Like I remember in the rain, stomping through cleats and grass and just just everything else and water. And you just saw him just kind of like take this. He didn't even do that thing in against like Washington, right, where he just kind of just swam across the grass when it was because we're not mudders anymore. Let's be honest, we're not mudders anymore like in 2019. And he just kind of just sat there and he just kind of just looked up. He's like, "Oh my God, I'm spent." but like he knows like when to turn it on. And I think that's really the biggest difference between this team and the 2019 team. 2019 team was playing kind of like the Packers, right? Like just punch hard, punch until you can't punch anymore, until your arms are dead, and then you're just left hanging. Whereas this team realizes like we're gonna punch, but this is like an Evander, like kind of like a Muhammad Ali type fight, rope a dope, take some hits. We're gonna take some gut shots, send some back, but we're gonna have to hang on the ropes for a little bit, and then later on in the 12th, 13th round, we'll have to send it. This team has learned how to close out fights, whereas in 2019 we did not know how to do. Like I think that is just a huge difference. So. Let's see here. I'm feeling like this group of guys could beat this KC team. I'm feeling like this group of guys could beat the 2019 49ers team. Because again, that 2019 team would just punch themselves out. This team makes sure that they save a little bit extra. Kind of like we're running a marathon. They have a little bit left for the last leg that is coming through. And that's only something that you get when you're a veteran and when you're seasoned. And that is the biggest difference between this team and the last team. And I absolutely... Well, but besides that, I mean, no knock to Raheem Mostert, but CMC is a different type of animal.
So you know what the difference between 2019 and this year?
4 years.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. that 2019 49ers was all run. This 2024 or 2023 team, we can pass and run.
Hey, McNina, sorry for interruption. Do you mind Seahawk Eddie hop on?
Oh.
Me and him was texting right now. I'm gonna send him the link. Oh, go ahead. I'm gonna tell him you're sending it. So, yeah.
That's what I think the difference is this team has wide receivers. We had Debo, but Debo was more of a running back at that time, and he caught some passes too. We're not gonna say he didn't. Sanders, it was. I always get their last names confused.
Emmanuel Sanders.
Thank you. I always call him Emmanuel. I remember him better as a Bronco because we didn't have him very long. So he came to our team, and it was really nice. But he came in the middle of the season too, and he brought veteran, leadership. But this team is different. This team's got 4 wide receivers.
I don't even think it was like Deebo Samuel as a runner back in 2019 because again, Deebo Samuel was a rookie, and they had an idea and a plan from everything that they had right from the Senior Bowl. And then there was that maturation process of like, what is this guy to grow into? And then what is his true skill set going to be? And then you're seeing this with Deebo. So Brian, I think there was a part of that, but then you're seeing it and you're like, wow, this is something that we're going to build into this guy's contract when he
most definitely. But I think an issue too, not an issue, but just history. What happened with Deebo is he didn't come in with the best hands. He came in very, very athletic and very physical. And then as the season went on, they seen that he needed a little bit of work on maybe his passing, his catching, right? Then he got hurt in the middle of the season. And I think that's about the time we made that trade for Emmanuel. And then Deebo and Emmanuel started playing together at the end of the season. But Deebo missed some games his rookie season. And then when he did come in, he was really killing it in that Super Bowl. For whatever reason, they said, I don't want Mostert to be the MVP. I don't want Deebo to be the MVP. Somebody said they wanted Jimmy G to be it, and he closed his eyes and threw an interception. So I don't understand it.
Emmanuel Sanders came here right before the Panthers game. I think that was week 8.
Yeah.
I think from 2019 to now, we got more weapons now. We got Jenny. We got IU. We got CMC. You know, what I mean? Those guys was not with us in 2019. So I
But
think,
we had a 3-headed running back attack back then. And
yeah.
Well, I
got-
say the other big thing too was that, and remember this, right, as 49ers fans, but from 2019 2021, there was a hot debate about who was really the better second round pick in the NFL draft, right? We had Terry with the Washington Commanders. We had DK Metcalf with the Seattle Seahawks. And remember, he had that, and this is during that time when he had that, Russell Wilson threw that pick, and then he just ran that boy down. And then we had Deebo Samuel. And now you're looking at it, and you're like, man, the 49ers really had the correct pick, I feel, with that. And then,
right, here's we're bringing in Seahawks Eddie. What's good, buddy?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey,
Pretty good.
Seahawks.
All right, carry on, Gavin. You were saying?
yeah, and then it even came to a head when you had Terry from the Washington Commanders, who was saying in the middle of this season, who said, I wish I was playing with the 49ers. Right? Like, and so you have all that fruition kind of come to a head at that point. Really, really glad that the Seahawks didn't get that offensive coordinator from the Lions, because my goodness.
Oh, from enemy territory. Hold on. Is he connected? There he is. From enemy territory. We're talking 10 minutes walking distance from Cowboy Stadium.
Uh-oh.
Damian Lee.
What's up, people?
What up, Damien?
What's going on?
The Super Bowl is what's up.
Yeah, that's definitely what's up. Well, so this team is different though. Like,
yes,
imposing their will. That's all good and everything. Doing what you got to do to get it done is. It just seems like they're willing to do whatever it takes to win this Super Bowl. And now they got Mahomes, the Chiefs. And honestly, the Chiefs are a different team than they were in 2019. He doesn't have the same weapons around him. We actually have a better team, in my opinion, than we did back then.
Yes.
Well, Melissa, what you got?
Okay, so the big difference is that last time we faced them in the Super Bowl, we were really old in our secondary between Jimmy Ward and Jaquiski Tartt and Richard Sherman, and Emmanuel Mosley was young, and he was a little reckless trying to prove himself over Spoon, which hurt us in that particular game. Whereas now, I think we're more battle tested. We got guys locked up Mooney and a Diamador Lenore and a Sean Gibson. And Logan Ryan came in for, I think, corner for a bit for Ambry Thomas. It was pretty clutch the last game when he came in. And more importantly, we're not facing the speedy receivers they had last time. So you don't have a Sammy Watkins, you don't have a Tyreek Hill, you don't have these big, speedy guys that were killing you back there. And the difference, I think, even bigger than that, is that Travis Kelce has stepped up in the playoffs these last 3 games, but he's not the same dynamic, like grueling, badass Travis Kelce.
Somebody had to say it.
And let's be honest, this defense has been playing against George Kittle for how long? Like that matters. And no offense to the Kelce people out there.
No,
but
go on, sis. Go on.
George is that guy. Like he's dynamic. He's shifty. He's been working on his routes. Like, yes, he doesn't have like this weird sixth sense that Travis and Patrick have. But that's kind of like in that sphere of Gronkowski, where they don't want to really run routes.
Mm-hmm.
They just do whatever feels right to them, and sometimes it pays off really big, and sometimes it really doesn't because they're not reading each other right. But I think what helped that when Diamador Lenore moved inside the last couple of weeks, his biggest issue, and I love him, But his biggest issue was tight ends, right? Like Tyler Higbee used to just feast on him and run him over. And I feel like now with like Drake Greenlaw and the rest of them, they have this like mentality where not just like swarming like they did with D'Amico Ryans to tackle people, but they have this like new wisdom and strength under Steve Wilkes of how to tackle. And they know how to use their bodies to keep themselves safe, to not get flagged, and to take down the opposite player.
So,
Go ahead, Damien.
Yeah,
I have.
let's hear it, buddy.
Okay, see, this is my thing. I mean, I've been here. I've been a Niner fan for like 6 decades: 70s, 80s, 90s, zeros, ones, twos. Showing up on math skills.
how old are you? May I ask?
4 and 5, 45. About to be 46.
Okay, you're still young. You're still young.
When I was 26, I was on top. But this is the problem I have with my with our team. I keep hearing people say hungry. We're better. That might be true. This team we have right now is very similar to the team that we took to the Super Bowl against those Broncos. But you know the difference? That team was hungry. Our team is entitled. Very entitled. And the thing is, we have the type of team with all our skill set players we have, we don't need to be behind like we have doing playing, half of games. With all that talent, like I brought up in the comments earlier, Michael Jordan, when they lost to the Pistons before he started getting rings, they were hungry. They wanted to impose their will. Imposing your will like for just a half a game is not good enough. And I'm sorry. I mean, I love my Niners, but I don't want to be on my edge. I like old school ass whooping when we kick your ass from the start to the end. We have enough talent to do that. I don't know if it's the coaches. Now, watching Steve Wilkes had an interview, and he talked about what we learned at the half. What? No, you don't have a half. You have 4 quarters to get your job right. You had a week to prep. I remember when I used to play sports in high school. My coach told us you start from the beginning of the game all the way to the end of the game. You don't take a half off. And that's what scares me about this team. We have the talent to get this title. We do. We just got to become hungry. We got to get that, that Apollo and Rocky thing going. Because right now, playing half a games is dangerous. And we lucked out because we're in the NFC. NFC's trash right now. So the Niners, they need to get on top of it. I know some of us, we all play sports and stuff, but they have to get on point.
The NFC is not trash. I mean, we have to remember, right? So
all the quarterbacks are not developing the NFC. I mean, we cakewalk through it.
We play a different game than the NFC, but also too, what we have to remember is when it comes down to the Baltimore Ravens, right? And your point of view is that the AFC is better than the NFC, right? Like it's just not. That's not the same thing. We play a different style of ball, and I would say that first and foremost. But also too, I would say I am very, very glad when we were talking about when the playoffs started. People would ask me, who do I want to play in the Super Bowl, Chiefs or Ravens, before the first round of before wild card, and I said Chiefs. Now the reason for that is because the way that the Ravens are built, they're built to beat and curb stomp NFC teams. When you look at the Ravens, right? So Brock Purdy and this team has beaten every single NFC team.
Mm-hmm.
That was in the playoffs. When we look at across the board to the Chiefs, there are certain teams that they have a really tough time playing against. Okay. And it's a team that runs a similar offense and a similar skill set and a similar player package that the 49ers play. Now, what would be the 2 teams that you could look at in the NFC that you would be like, man, these guys run something similar to the 49ers? 2 teams. I'll let you pick 3, but there's going to be 2.
I can just do 2. Green Bay is about a year and a half behind us.
Okay. That's 1. Ding.
And Arizona is going to give us trouble in about 2 years.
I'm not talking about giving us trouble. I'm talking about giving the Chiefs trouble. So you're right. So you're right.
I'm just loyal to my team. I don't know.
Okay.
So I mean,
talking about the Packers and the Lions who both beat the Chiefs this year.
Right. Exactly. So both those teams beat the Chiefs this year. I'm not sure if you're aware. Now the Ravens had greater success against that, but week 13, okay, which is very, very recent, because everyone's going to talk about how the Ravens beat us in December. Well, the Packers beat the Chiefs in December, okay, and kind of by a lot. And I also
no. Sorry, Packers beat them before Thanksgiving because my brother's a cheesehead. He got his Super Bowl, and then they went and beat the Lions on Thanksgiving, and that was his new Super Bowl.
So okay, so I think we're gonna have some people kind of look into that, but it'd be week 13 that the Packers played against the Ravens. But my big thing to that would be, and just like as you said, they're a year and a half behind us. Right. So everything that's being said right now, I feel like is narrative and false narrative. So if we're a year and a half ahead, let's just say 12 months, we're a year ahead of where the Packers are, which I think that we're really like more than that. Because the thing is, in 2019, so the Packers and the Lions, they have all these rookies that are on their team. The difference between the 2019 49ers and the 2023 Packers, the 2023 Lions, is that when we had all of our rookies fully assembled, we actually got to the promised land, which is the Super Bowl. And then we lost to them. These guys now have had 4 or 5 years of seasoning. So it's one thing to be like an 8-year veteran in this league, but it's another thing to be like a 4 to 5 year, 6-year veteran with Super Bowl playoff experience. And all these guys have gone deep in the playoffs every single year. We have every single year we've gone to the playoffs. It's not like we lost in the first round like the Cowboys or anybody else, right? So these are properly seasoned veterans. So when you're saying that they're about a year and a half, I would really say they're probably about 3 years. A good 3 years of well,
yeah, it's kind of hard to say. It's kind of hard to say because sometimes players catch fire at different times, and like
our guys caught fire as a rookie. Their guys as rookies caught fire, but they couldn't unseat us.
So when you look at the Chiefs and you look at the Niners and the Chiefs have been building a super team for several years, and then they got lucky. They got Patrick Mahomes. They had Alex Smith. They had Kelsey prior to Patrick Mahomes. Then they've done some revamping because they've had to pay him so much money because, again, the Chiefs have been in the playoffs every year that Patrick Mahomes has been their starting quarterback, and every year except, 1 year, they were in the Super Bowl. So out of the last 6 years, 5 of the times, come on, this is getting really crazy, right? So when you look at their team and you look at our team, it's 2 different teams because they've won it. They got to a point, and then they were able to continue to because they had their core, right? They had their quarterback. Their quarterback matured. The Niners, we've shuffled quarterbacks, but we still have a nice solid core where some of those players that were rookies are now veterans. And I think, like Melissa made a good point, our veteran corners are now rookie corners. So that's a little bit different too. So now, like where Bosa was saying, he was along for the ride. Now he knows he's driving. He's driving this defense. So I like your analogy too, where you're talking about like different teams that are like the 49ers offense, and you threw out there Green Bay. I think there's another team, maybe the Rams a little bit are like the 49ers offense. There's other teams.
No. So here be the biggest thing. So
No.
the Chiefs, right, in 2019, how many times did that team score 30 points? Oh, between the regular season and the playoffs.
I don't have the stats in front of me. I can't
Okay,
tell you.
let me ask this question.
You talking 2019?
20. Okay, let's talk 2023.
Okay.
Okay.
So there's a 17-game season. The Chiefs have had to play 3 playoff games. So out of 20 games, everybody get on your computers or on your phone. How many times have the Chiefs scored 30 plus points in 20 games? I'll wait.
Maybe like 8.
Nope.
Not even
Less.
close.
5.
Way
5.
Less than 5. 3.
3.
3 out of 20, and we are acting like they're this onslaught offensive juggernauts. They're not the 2019 Chiefs.
No, but their defense is better, and their defense is what our
Chris
offense.
Jones
is.
Subjective. Their defense is better because of their time of possession. But guess
No,
what?
defense-
Guess what this
defense-
49ers team does too is time of possession, bleed the clock. When their defense, so here's what else to say. And I said this kind of earlier in the thing, right? The biggest difference between this defense and the 2019 defense, I think the 2019 defense came out punching hard, swinging hard, just like this Green Bay defense did to us, but they ran out of gas. That ass ran out of gas. But the biggest difference was that this defense knew how to just conserve, save, and then learned how to finish out games that they didn't know how to do as rookies. And then they did that. This time around, right? So we got a little bit more in the tank than those other teams do because we built those reserves, and that counts for something. Okay. Though this Chiefs defense, whenever they have to do more than 22 or 23 minutes, okay, they can't sustain. They don't have that kind of depth that's there. But also, too, what I would say is that, your commonality, the reason why I brought up the Packers and the reason why I brought up the Lions, and somebody else said it, they're about 1.5 years, 2 years behind us, okay, with our skill set position. Laporta, star. Laporta's not George Kittle yet, star. Not Kelsey yet, but a star, okay? But these guys have been doing it for years. So we will go ahead and we're going to come in there and we're going to be able to sustain drives. We bleed the clock. I want everybody to do their homework, rewatch the pregame speeches that Dan Campbell said. And he was talking about how he had his hands full. Then watch the post game and he said, 49ers bleed the clock. We're not going to lose time of possession to the Chiefs. Whenever the Chiefs lost time possession, they lost the game.
But you got to look at this too. You're bringing up great points, but I want you to just hear this one.
Sure.
If the Niners don't score more than 17 points, we lose the game, and
Sure.
we've lost the game because of other offenses bleeding the clock. And who are we playing? The captain king of bleeding the clock. So the defense is doing really good because they're not on the field very long, and their offense isn't scoring a bunch of points, but they're taking 10-minute drives. So if the Niners can't stop Patrick Mahomes, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if our offense can get in there or not. We won't have the time.
You don't stop Patrick Mahomes. You don't give him the ball. And that, I think that's the biggest thing. Time of possession is key, and 49ers are great ever since the Harbaugh years with time of possession. I'm not trying to sell anybody like snake oil, right? Like go on to ESPN, look at the games.
I have a rebuttal to Brian's point, though.
Here we go.
The difference is 2019, even 2021, 2022. They had a hard time moving the ball down the field and keeping drives alive. And that's been Purdy's strength this year, is keeping drives alive. Yes, he has these bad turnovers sometimes, but he keeps the drives alive. And it's not like back then where you had to have Robbie Gould within a certain amount of yards to make a field goal. Jake Moody, as much as you want to rip him for his missed field goals, has a much wider range to seal points and not give up short fields,
Right.
and not risk injury the way we would all risk injury trying to get within like 30 yards of the end zone to get Robbie in his most optimal position to make good play. So in a lot of ways, it's a very, very different team, not just on offense, but defense, special teams. And I mean, before Damien was questioning the fire and the fight in these bellies, but you still have enough of these veterans who have a sour taste in their bellies that they're gonna fight hard. And if you really think that, okay, well that's not enough. Brandon Ayuk was asked about Trent Williams being in his first Super Bowl and helping him win his first Super Bowl. And Brandon Ayuk, in a very un-Brandon Ayuk-like way, said, step off that. Like, I'm not doing this for him. I'm doing this for me. I've never been to a Super Bowl. Christian McCaffrey has never been to a Super Bowl. You don't think that he wants to win a Super Bowl for his dad's former team with Kyle Shanahan? Like, there's so much differences now. Like, it's crazy that the Christopher Russos and all these people keep thinking that it's going to be the same kind of game, that Patrick Mahomes is just going to dog walk over us. Like, I'm not guaranteeing a win because I think that's been silly and stupid the way people wanted that against Brady, and now they're trying to do it with Patrick Mahomes. But to say that the Niners just have no chance and they're going to just be mollywopped by them, like, I'm sorry. Do you really believe that Rashid Rice is not going to get like big eyes under the bright lights? Like, Kadarius Toney is sitting himself and throwing hissy fits because he's not getting enough play time. Like, this is not the same team. And Isaiah Pacheco is hurt. You have Chris Jones who was hurt. You have many players on the Kansas City Chiefs that are their all-star players who are dealing with injuries right now. Like,
more healthier.
But let's be honest, it is a very different thing. And the biggest difference is that the Niners are mostly healthy. Like, that's the shocking part. Like, I think the only two people really on the list right now are Ambry Thomas because he rolled his ankle, and George Kittle dealing with a toe injury, which are both day to day. Like,
preach.
It's so different now. I understand that we all have those demons and we don't want to see a third Super Bowl loss, and they're the big, bad, scary Kansas City Chiefs, but like, we're not in the old days where Kyle Shanahan, if he had to come back from a loss in the fourth quarter, we're automatically going to lose. Like,
no, that's only happened twice now, so we can't say that everything's changed and he's like.
I'm not saying it will always happen, Brian. I'm just saying that
and that's not what I'm saying either.
I'm spelling Melissa in the chat with like 5 M's, like Melissa. I love it.
Every game's a 50-50 chance. Even if you've beaten a team 10 times in a row, every game's a 50-50 chance.
That's a fact.
Yep.
This game is very, very similar to the other one, minus a couple weapons on Kansas.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
It is. Kansas City had a very stout defense then. They have a stout defense now. They have an explosive quarterback then. The only thing that's different for the 49ers is we have a couple new wide receivers and we have Brock Purdy. That's the difference.
Oh my God.
The Niners are a good defense. They were a good defense in 2019. It's a lot of people. It's even the same uniforms. That's why people are upset. It's the same uniforms. They're going to say it's the same game. Now, if you go looking into it more deeply, you put a magnifying glass on it, then you can dissect it and say, "Oh, this here and this here is different."
Right.
But for the most part,
Mr. Colt, who would you rather have, Sherman or Charvarius Ward?
Sherman.
Okay, let's do this again. I offended you, and I'm sorry. All right.
No, Sherman's a good player, but wasn't Ward on the Chiefs team? Didn't they let him go?
Yeah, he was on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, when they won the Super Bowl against us. So we have a Super Bowl caliber. Both are Super Bowl caliber.
But Ward wasn't starting.
And Hargrave got the chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Brian, I hate to do this to you, but didn't the Seahawks let Richard Sherman go because he was injury prone and he was old and
Okay.
they were desperate for DBs and they let him walk.
We could say that, but I think the
I
reason
think
they
Seahawk Eddie will answer that question.
I think
Okay, let me restate this. Let me restate this. I'm sorry, I messed this up.
Exploded up there, and Sherman was very mad that they lost that Super Bowl.
I messed this up. Let me restart this. What matchup would you prefer? A 30-plus-year-old Sherman coming off of an injury going up against a young Tyreek Hill, or a Charvarius Ward in his 20s who's a Pro Bowler and an all-team Pro Bowl kind of guy against a rookie Rashid Rice? Let me replaster that question. Which matchup, Bryant, would you rather have?
I don't know. I mean, I'm being honest with you because we've seen Rashid Rice catch balls this year and be horrible. We've seen Mahomes drop buckets in people's hands this year and not come up with the pass. We've seen the Niners defense play, so much off, and you have so much, cushion for wide receivers to give up gaps. When you look at Richard Sherman over his career, you have to think of what he did and the leadership that he brought to the team during that time as well. I don't see this rookie doing that. He might run a little bit faster. He might not be as injury prone.
Not Jerry Rice. Okay. So a very young Tyreek Hill, world champion going for the Olympics against a very old Richard Sherman, or a Rashid.
But Richard Sherman didn't cover. Hill. Was the other guy?
Can I ask you a question though? Do you guys forget that Richard Sherman was a huge liability throughout that entire playoff run?
So
versus the Vikings with his holding and not being
I remember against the Packers.
And they marched down with 80 yards and penalties. He did the same thing against the Packers.
So
Devontae Adams.
So
he did it on Undisputed this morning himself that he completely could not keep up with those receivers against the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not questioning Bryant what he meant to this team and that they still have love for him on this team. But to say that Sherman would be a better option right now is crazy, especially that he's been out of the league for 2 years now.
See, that's the hard thing too. You can't really nail it like that. You take Richard Sherman at the time that he was in 2019 and his,
that's what I was comparing it to, though.
Right now on this team, I think 2019 Richard Sherman on this team would be great. Would he be the best player ever? No. Now, 2019 was several years ago. He is older now. I mean, but then what happened? He went to another team and went to a Super Bowl there. So, I mean,
no, he didn't.
Okay.
No, he didn't.
So,
he was on the Niners in 2020. He got hurt to begin the year.
Who won the
and
Super
then he
Bowl?
went to Brady the year after.
Got a ring. He went to Tampa Bay and got a ring, Melissa.
No, he did not. Richard Sherman was on the Niners in 2020 during COVID. It was a huge story when he after we started off at home, remember, because the skies were burnt orange. He got injured, and George Kittle and Jimmy Garoppolo both tried to come back through injuries throughout the year, and Richard Sherman did not, and it was a huge story that people were mad at him and that they said that he was fighting with the DB coach back then. And then the very next year, after Brady won the Super Bowl, he went to Tampa Bay, and that was his last year in the league.
So
there ain't no way. There ain't no way. I'm gonna take Charvarius Ward.
Damian Lee, what's up?
So
I'm listening, but
so if I may, if I may enter the conversation, I do want to say something about Richard Sherman, which has nothing to do with should we have him right now, or if we're talking about one thing I loved about Richard Sherman, and again, I'm talking as an athlete in my personal experience, the way he covered receivers was very, very unique. He would look at the quarterback and basically was like a baseball stand, like getting ready to, instead of face a defender, he would basically be looking at the defense and the corner. That's why he was very, very good at what he was doing, to see what type of angles and what his fellow defenders were going to play. So I kind of liked, the way he played. He did make some moments in the 2019 where I was not really happy of him. And so to defend a little bit Richard Sherman, the way he played, was a really good style and receivers hated it. Was he really good in the Super Bowl? No, he made mistakes. So that's what I would say just to defend him. And when it comes to this team versus the 2019 team, the players who are now grown up and, because Fred Warner was just entering his second full season. Greenlaw was a rookie. Fred Warner was a rookie. A lot of the young guys in the secondary were very, very young.
Thank you.
Tart, K1. Wasn't a big fan of those guys, just my opinion. But I really like Sherman. I really did like Sherman, back there. I think I'm probably one of the minorities who really liked Richard Sherman. Compared to Charvarius Ward right now to Richard Sherman, personally, the 2019 Richard Sherman could stay on the 2019 team, and I'll keep Charvarius Ward on the 2023 team.
And that's all I was trying to say was that there's a bigger talent gap between the 2019 Richard Sherman and the 2019 Tyreek Hill versus and that was their best wide receiver option on the Chiefs in 2019, which is a great option to have Tyreek Hill, right? So an aging Richard Sherman versus like in your prime young Tyreek Hill running like a 4.2, right? Versus a Rashid Rice 2023 versus a Charvarius Ward. Like the gap difference is like it's incredible. So I'm just saying like our CB1 versus their WR1 is way tighter in 2023 than it was in 2019. Like if Sherman, if the pass rush didn't get to Mahomes early and it kind of went to like a 4-second thing, that was a done deal. Absolute done deal, because there's no way Sherman could cover somebody because he was like eyes on diagnosing the play, need a play in a pocket or an area, and Tyreek Hill was going to get out of that area if it was like 3.5 seconds, which was an absolute possibility with a guy like Mahomes. I think that was the big point. That I'm not trying to besmirch Sherman's name. All I was trying to do was bring some brevity and bring light to the fact that there are, when we were like so close and a couple minutes away from beating them, their wide receiver 1 versus our CB1, the difference was huge. So whereas now our CB1 versus their wide receiver 1 is like, I really trust Charvarius Ward to lock that dude down, like put the clamps on him all game long.
I don't think Sherman was the one who led up on that pass for Tyreek, and I don't think he was cornerback 1 in 2019, but he was on the team. He was a captain, and he was a leader. So Tyreek, he had one big pass in that game. The Niners defense in 2019 was doing really, really good, except for that one big pass. It was right after they had.
Was it the pass or was it the pass rush?
It was interception right after the fourth quarter. Right in the fourth quarter, where they went and celebrated in the end zone, and the pictures were taken. They did the pose. Right after that,
Warner's interception.
Right after that pass, right after that play, then the next time the Chiefs had the ball, then Tyreek had the big play. That sack that should have happened, that holding call that Bosa was getting held on, that the flag never happened on, that pass was caught by Tyreek, and it wasn't Richard Sherman who gave up the pass on that. But I hear you, and I understand. I just really would like to see the Niners win the Super Bowl. And if the 2019 defense is better than the 23 defense, we won't know, because they don't ever have to play each other. And that 2019 defense is going to have to. They're going to have to be 2019, right? And 2023 has to take care of Patrick Mahomes. So now Patrick Mahomes has different weapons and a whole different group of guys, right? But the 2019 defense, that's gone. 2020.
Yeah. Mahomes has less weapons, and then when I look at like the amount of like 300, so one of the stats that I brought up was like how many times did the Chiefs score over 30 points in 20 games. Right? And it was 3 out of 20. Out of 20 games, including the playoffs, they've only scored 30 points or more 3 times.
Yes.
Now, here's the other thing. How many times has Mahomes thrown over 300 yards with this offense? Now I want everybody else to look. Hold on, David.
Yeah, but what you're saying,
hold on.
Jimmy, but what you're saying though, we gotta wait. What you keep asking is you're saying, okay, the time of possession that the Chiefs are having is giving their defense great stats, and that's why their defense is so great, right? And then you're saying that the Chiefs aren't putting up a bunch of points during their games, and they're still winning
because they just
but you're also saying they're not putting up a bunch of yards, and it all goes back to what you're saying. They're milking that clock, right? So they're not going to be a big juggernaut statistically, but they are statistically converting those first downs and keeping the ball and the chain moving. So go ahead.
Yeah, and I would say the other thing too is look at Pacheco, and then see how many times he's had 100-yard rushing game. And then Bryant, here's what I would say, because everything the point and the conclusion that you're going to is normally correct, and there's a reason why they're in their Super Bowl. But the reason why I brought up the Green Bay Packers, the reason why I brought up the Detroit Lions is because those two teams have so many numerical weapons that the Chiefs, look, you can have 2, maybe 3 cornerbacks deep, but you're not going to be 5 cornerbacks deep. That's tough to do. And that was the situation that the Chiefs found themselves in, unlike the Baltimore Ravens when they played against, and that's the reason why they lost against the Green Bay Packers, and the reason why they lost against the Detroit Lions. And we have better weapons than both of them, and we're going to create way more stress against the Chiefs than those other teams did. And no offense to Jahmyr Gibbs, but I'm going to take CMC over him 99 times out of 99. Like, that's just going to happen. Same thing with Aaron Jones. I don't even know who the Green Bay Packers tight end is, but I'm going to take George Kittle over him. I'm going to take
rookie. They have 2 rookies. They have Musgrave and Croft, which were 2 of the top 5 tight ends in the draft.
Right, and I'm gonna take Juwan Jennings, just not only from his blocking but from his clutch catches. I'm gonna take Brandon Ayuk. I'm gonna take Deebo Samuel. Like, there's a method to the madness. So, Bryant, you're absolutely correct in a vacuum. But when we look at what NFC teams do well, and then the fact that this Kansas City Chiefs team struggles against this. Now, the Baltimore Ravens, I did not want to see the Baltimore Ravens. They play NFC teams like correct. Like, they play us tough. That's not what we want. But Pacheco, how many, Bryant, when you're looking at it, how many 100-yard rushing games out of 20 has Pacheco had? Like, this is not the number 1 rushing team that's coming up against us. And then how many rushing yards does the Chiefs surrender?
I don't know, but I know that they have Patrick Mahomes, and all these other teams keep building super teams, right? And they keep putting all these weapons around them. But the Chiefs seem to deplete their weapons, right? And they're not getting more players. They're getting rookies, and they're still getting to the Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes, who's not a rookie. So sometimes you don't have to have the best players around you when you have the best player. Right. And I think that's what Patrick Mahomes is showing is he can get it done with Scuba Steve. So,
okay. Brian, I have to ask you a question specifically more than anyone else. All right. There's this thing that's been pointed out by all the national media heads, right? That Patrick Mahomes is on a kind of like big, huge streak right now. Okay. No fumbles, no sacks, no INTs, no pick sixes for the last 6 games in a row in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I know that's a huge thing, and I know that's worrisome. But do you honestly think that this team can't get at least one of those things on him and start messing with their confidence? Because that's the one thing that is not talked about very much. Patrick Mahomes has gotten frustrated this year the way that Brady used to get frustrated. And when he gets frustrated and flustered, that's when he starts making a lot of mistakes. So it can kind of snowball on him this year where it hasn't happened like it has in the past.
David, can you pull up? Can you go on? I don't know if you can do this.
Hey Mariah, how you doing?
I just feel like this would make it easier. Can you pull up like ESPN stats and just like just the season stats, and it'll pull up like the receiver, rushing, blah blah for the Chiefs.
But believe it or not, I don't mess with ESPN at all anymore.
I believe it, but or some kind of other or website that pulls up this, because what I want to show Bryant is that we're treating this team like they're the 2019 Chiefs rolling into 2023, and that is clearly not the case. And we have upgraded in certain areas, and they have downgraded certain areas, because when you're paying a quarterback $500 million, believe it or not, folks, you're going to digress in certain areas. I'm not, and the Bills, I'm telling you, rewatch the Bills tape. Look at the stats. We've got 2 weeks, folks. We've got 2 weeks. Look at the stats. Look at the stats between the Bills and the Chiefs. Then rewatch that film, and you have to just shudder and go like, "Wow, the Bills blew that." I mean, so hardcore. But
so real quick, because Melissa asked me a question, I want to get back to it, but I want to finish what you're saying as well. The Niners versus the Niners and Chiefs, common opponents. We're both 1-3. Both teams are 1-3 against common opponents. This team is very similar to the 2019 season. It is. If you guys want to look for it, and you don't want to look for it and see the similarities, that's okay. But Patrick Mahomes has gotten better since he's been to the Super Bowl against us. He's won more Super Bowls.
Touchdowns and interceptions that Patrick Mahomes threw in 2023 versus touchdowns and interceptions threw in 2019.
He's also gotten into more Super Bowls than anybody else since that time span that we've been trying to get to the Super Bowl. I just look at this team, and the Niners have a lot of problems where we having a hard time stopping the run. Pacheco could start out really fast. I don't want to say, we're going to lose the game, because I don't like talking like that. I'm a Niner fan. I believe we can win. I really, truly, I look for a way for us to win. But you have to kind of put your eyes and your ears up, or listen, because it's a little weird when Patrick Mahomes isn't the MVP this season, but he beats the MVP who beat us really, really handedly, and he loses to his crowd against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, who are now going to go back to the Super Bowl. And we are looking at Patrick Mahomes and saying he's depleted because he's getting paid more money. Patrick Mahomes should have just totally won that game, right? But he had to go in there first, right? Lamar Jackson was the MVP. He should have dominated that game, right? Lamar lost the game. And now everybody's looking at Lamar like he's not a good quarterback or in a different light because he didn't beat Patrick Mahomes. If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And right now, Patrick Mahomes is still the best. And he went in and he
Brian, you've always been like, I always felt like it like there were, I remember in the 90s, right? Like there's this upper like rap game, right? And there was like the UGK, right? The Underground Kings, right? And so Bryant, like you are the underground king for our rap game as far as the 49ers go. I'm a little disappointed because right now, okay, Patrick Mahomes for this season.
But
hold on.
You're not hearing me out before you continue to go on. You have to look at this. If Patrick Mahomes is just some regular guy, when he beat the number one seed in the AFC, who, again, they were the ones who were supposed to be in the Super Bowl, right? He beats Lamar Jackson, who handedly beat us. And we're not going to be like looking at Patrick and saying, oh boy, you beat the best team in the league, even if your team was the best team last year and the year before and the year before. Your team's been up and down this season. You've made good points. Detroit beat them. Green Bay beat them. They've been fighting. But the last couple of weeks, they started to catch fire, and they're not fighting anymore. And now they're winning a bunch of games, and there's only so many games left. And now the guy is standing at the finish line once again. And it doesn't matter who he's standing around because he's won it on his own these times before. So I think the Niners have a good chance to go in there because I think we are hungry. I know Damian down here was saying that, like how the Broncos in our Super Bowl back then, the Niners were hungry. I wasn't really able to watch that. I was too young. But the Niners right now, we haven't won the Super Bowl. I think we are hungry. I think we are really hungry, and at least the fans are. So if the Niners players are good enough just to get there and be complacent and like, oh, we're a good team, we made it there, I'm a fan that wants to see them win. And the Niners are that good of a team. We could get it done, but we got to put pressure on Mahomes. Like Melissa was asking the question, how do we get pressure on Mahomes? We take away Kelsey. We take away Kelsey and we take away Pacheco from the start of the game. And then who does he have? He has rookies. And that's all he'll have the rest of the game. And if Ward is that good, if Lenore, all these other guys, Warner, Alshire, all these other guys are great, let them go out there and play their game and let them dominate these rookies.
I think we leave him Kelsey. Kelsey's not a banger anymore. He's not that guy who gets 20 yards after the catch or anything like that. Like he's kind of turning into that old Greg Olsen. When you look at Mahomes, he had 27 touchdowns, I believe, 14 interceptions. And then when you look at a guy like Brock Purdy, we were the last in the league for passes that were attempted, 32nd. And Brock Purdy had 31 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. So Mahomes is having to play more of a manager, like this whole thing of where we're going like Brock Purdy's like a game manager. Like Mahomes is actually having to play like an actual like game manager role than Brock Purdy. Like again, I keep saying this, but we're acting like this man came from Mount Olympus. His Achilles was held before he was dipped in the pools of Mount Olympus, and we're treating him like he's Achilles, and he's not. Like he's actually mortal this year. Like 27-14 is not a Brady-esque kind of year, especially when our quarterback, again, 49ers, 8th in the league as far as rushing attempts. So we've had the 8th most rushing attempts, but we're 32nd in passing attempts. Last in the league, less than anybody else. And he has 31 and 11 versus him, which he's thrown 100 more passes than Purdy, and he is 27-14. It's not the best ratio right there. So we have to. I'm not trying to like bring them down. I'm not trying to blow smoke anybody's skirt. But honestly, all I'm saying is this: if there is ever a year to get this guy, this is this year. And I think that if Eli Manning and Drew Brees had a baby, it would be Brock Purdy. He looks like the kind of guy. He looks like Drew Brees. 100%. And that's all I'm saying. Like, it's not. This defense only looks good because they're trying to bleed out the clock. But every single game when they've lost time of possession, they've gotten their asses handed to them. And like I said, we've got 2 weeks. So if I'm saying anything wrong or incorrect, anyone else here can bring that up and they can call me out on any type of. But I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I'm being honest. Like, there's a script, a blueprint to beat this team, and that's super encouraging. Super encouraging. And also, too, our defense doesn't run out of gas after 3 quarters. Like, our defense can actually hang in there for all 4 quarters. That's the only reason why people go like, oh, Brock Purdy's the reason why we won and we had those comebacks. No, Brock Purdy is, but also, too, our defense is stacked enough to be able to keep it going.
So if I may enter the conversation again, one thing this year about Patrick Mahomes is that the Chiefs were the number 1 team with their wide receivers dropping the football. That's 100%. confirmed. It's been told by me, by many other NFL fans. Like, Patrick Mahomes had a bad year.
Not in the playoffs.
Okay, but here's my point. When it comes to Patrick Mahomes, it is hard to get that guy, because if you watched a game, I think about a year ago, where he's running around for 15 seconds and no one can catch him, the way that guy moves around, and again, I'm not trying to say Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback, yada, yada. I'm saying that it's going to give the Niners a test how we go after him, because he finds a way to get that ball out. And that's why, as a 49er fan, I'm worried about Patrick Mahomes. I'm not going to lie, because right now we're the NFC champions. I've seen this 3 times in the last 15 years of my life. We've been this close. I don't want to bring up old stuff, but there are a lot of people in my life who have been calling me and they're telling me, we've seen this before, John. We've seen this before, John. And we're all like, we got to go one game at a time, one quarter at a time, one drive at a time to get the victory. But I am worried about Patrick Mahomes. That's my honest opinion about Patrick Mahomes.
It's been 5 years. 2019. It's now 2024. 5 years. Half a decade. Mahomes doesn't run the same way that he did when he was 2019. That shit hurts. That shit sucks. And also, too, you can see it. The Chiefs are trying to run it as much as possible, and they're not getting the duality in their results the same manner that the 49ers or a lot of other teams are. Like the Bills, if you think the Bills have a better rushing attack than the 49ers, God help you. I don't know what to do. But the Bills put up numbers on the Chiefs. A lot of teams have put up numbers on the Chiefs. Like we're not going to try and beat the Chiefs vertically, but we're going to try and kill them underneath. The difference is that we have more home run threats off of screens than the Chiefs do. The Chiefs are going to try and screen us to death, and I think that we're really going to be ready for it. Like, we're here for it. And I'm so sorry, but we're going to go through 2 weeks of national media. We're going to be beaten to death. And my biggest thing is, the only reason why I started coming on the radio was not because I wanted glorification. I don't even have my own channel. I'm not trying to be uber famous. I'm not trying to make money off of this. I just got so tired of just watching 49ers fans being led down the wrong path or being misled, and then feeling like having fear in their heart or in their soul where it was misplaced. This is not that time. This is not the 2019 Chiefs.
Okay,
and I tell you what.
So
I'm going to clip. I'm going to clip some things from here.
In 2024, okay, you've grown, you've matured, right? You're Patrick Mahomes.
I would definitely say Devo has. I would say Devo has.
Patrick Mahomes, right? Now you are.
Oh.
Okay, Cameron, I do have to point out one thing.
Dang it, Brian froze.
That Cam bring up,
Yeah, he
which
did.
I think needs to be addressed when we're still on this conversation. Do you remember last week, besides it being an ugly, low-scoring game, which most of us kind of predicted, that the Ravens players even warned the Romo and I think Nance called the game, that they were not going to let Patrick run on them the way the AFC usually lets Patrick run on them. Remember that was like a big story, that if he was a runner, they were going to treat him as a runner and they were going to knock him.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's going to mess with his psyche or not, but the fact that he was rattled and pushed around and hit hard may change the way he approaches this game.
Well, I would say
players like a Theodore Lenore or Jay Greenlow who have a reputation, whether it's deserved or not, for being very physical.
Yes. Well, I would say this. I think that everybody in the NFL is physical, but I would say the other thing too is that if you look at like the last all 20 games, I think that he averages around 5 to 6 carries a game. The big difference is that he's not getting like 50, 60 yards a game like he was early, like 5 years ago in 2000. Like, the shit hurts. Like, it sucks getting decked and getting just slobber knuckled. So you're right. Like, it's had an effect to the point of like, I would rather throw it to somebody else and they get fucking rocked versus me getting rocked. Because if you look at the last like few games, he's running like 6 times. He's rushing 6 times, but he's not picking up more than like out of like the total amount of yards, like more than like 19, 25 yards, right? So I'm actually building this this thing where I'm going to put it on here on Twitter, but it's going to be like, out of this entire playoffs, who is the last quarterback to throw for 250 yards and rush for 50 yards? Was it Lamar Jackson?
Brock Purdy.
Was it, you know what I mean? Was it the Bills quarterback? Was it Mahomes? And you know what the funny thing was? The only one who's thrown for 250 yards and rushed for 50 yards has been Brock Purdy. But he's also, too, the youngest quarterback. Because as you get older, getting popped in the mouth, that shit fucking sucks, right? And so you learn to not like, you're Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, but Jack doesn't want to get hit when he tries to jump over the candlestick. Like, it starts to hurt after a while. So,
imagine if he didn't get hurt last year against the Eagles, it'll probably been back-to-back Super Bowls.
I don't think so. I don't think so. So there's a maturation process, right? Like, he's the thing that I really like about him is like every 2 to 3 games, he adds something amazing to. I've never seen somebody who learns that fast. My wife's an elementary school teacher. I'm in the military, and I try to make sure that people are ready for war and combat. But Brock Purdy he's a mental. That the reason why I said that I think that he's, if Drew Brees and Eli Manning had a baby, it would be Brock Purdy. I mean, think about it. If he wins the Super Bowl, everyone's going to talk about Brock Purdy like Eli Manning. Like, you won the Super Bowl, but you shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. You know, even though you beat Tom Brady, even though you beat this generation's Tom Brady, like, you don't deserve to be. They're not. He's going to be limited. Like, the goalposts are never, and that's the thing I need 49ers fans to understand. Yep.
You gotta stop the Eli comparisons.
Pause for a second. We gotta add someone coming in from the great state of Arizona. We got Wolf.
All right.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, Wolf?
Eli Manning, and I live in New Jersey, so I lived through this with my father, who was a Giants fan. Okay, Eli Manning, I think, had 3 playoff runs. The one where he got knocked out by the Packers in 2014 with Odell Beckham.
I think he had more, but yeah.
Okay, the reason why Eli Manning was always looked down upon was that he struggled to win in the regular season and not really made the postseason.
Right.
That's a huge difference.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's why I said, like, if Drew Brees and then Peyton and then Eli Manning.
I can kind of hear you, Wolf. But
kind of
say something again.
Testing 1 2 testing 1 2.
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay, cool.
So
carry on.
Yeah, I mean, so that was the big thing, was right, because like Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, they only won like 1 Super Bowl, right? All I'm trying to say is, like, the narratives. If Brock Purdy wins the Super Bowl, it's going to be something similar to Eli Manning. But I feel like Brock Purdy is this giant slayer. He is this giant slayer. And it's something that the national media hasn't really picked up on. And I really feel like that was something that Eli Manning did great with. But when we look at Brock Purdy, how many number 1 first round, number 1 overall quarterbacks has Brock Purdy beaten?
Not too many.
Not too many.
Trevor Lawrence.
Oh,
Trevor Lawrence, Goff,
Baker Mayfield,
Stafford.
Uh-huh.
Not too many. I mean, I would say he's.
what Jim ever talking about, McNair?
But and so that's number one, first round, number one overall. But like, how many other like first round quarterbacks has he beaten? I'd say like quite a few. And so that's the thing that I've been trying to tell like Chiefs fans is like Purdy, he doesn't talk loud, like he doesn't bark, right? He's quiet, but kind of like Teddy Roosevelt, but he carries a stick. And he is going to slap. He's going to slap because the thing is the way that it carries himself. And you see that the catches that these guys are making. I remember when Juwan Jennings, he went up and he hurt himself so bad, but he just overextended, hit the ground, didn't make the catch. But he was just like his leg was just bobbing up and down on the ground. But I don't know. I feel like something very, very special about this kid that I didn't feel 6-8 months ago. I really didn't. I really did because I didn't want to compare him to Drew Brees because two different systems, West Coast system versus the Don Coryell system. But I'm going to put this back in the air. 23-17 49ers. I always ask myself these two questions before the 49ers play the game. Can the enemy team or the opposing team score 30 points? Yes or no? Then I go, is Purdy going to be for 30? Purdy for 30? Yes or no? And a lot of times it's like the enemy team or opposing team can't score 30 and then Purdy's going to score 30. This time it's no. And then I go into the deeper reasons of why. And I looked super deep, and it's like, yes, the secondary is cold, but they've been beat. They've had 6 losses, and I'm talking about recently. I'm not like it's not like they were like the Green Bay Packers where they lost like early and then caught hot fast. Like they've lost the Raiders, they lost to the Packers,
Broncos,
right? So. I'm not taking anything away, but I'm just like I'm not going to sit here and just go like they're the megalodon swimming in the ocean, and then we're just a bunch of just trout just waiting to get absorbed. Like that's just not the case.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to look at other teams and say and compare them to us or their schedule versus us because at certain times that everybody has their own story, right? So, like during the Chiefs' run, those teams could have been really healthy at a time or whatnot. We lost to Kirk Cousins this year. We lost to the Bengals, who didn't even make the playoffs. So that all, it's just some of the things that we had to go through this season. You scratch your head and you're like, is that a championship team? Championship teams find ways to win, even if the first and second quarter or third quarter isn't going right for them. They find a way to win in the end. And that's the whole thing is the 49ers, they haven't been stopping the run these playoff games. So if that happens again, then it's going to be a hard time for the defense to get off the field. But again, the 2019 Patrick Mahomes compared to his now, the maturity, the him blossoming or however you want to put it, he's smarter than he was then, and he's got more skill, and he has more favoritism. He can talk to the refs and almost practically get a flag thrown for him. You seen Kelsey walked up to and he drew a flag for basically being at the right point at the right time. And basically the 2019, Patrick Mahomes, if we could have beat him then, that would have derailed his whole career, but we didn't. And now we have to go in there and try to put a notch on his, put a notch and say, we can do it. So he's got all the confidence in the world because he is the veteran. He's the veteran who's been to the Super Bowl for the last several years. He's the new Tom Brady. And even at Tom Brady, the time that he wanted to retire, and they're talking about it even today. If Tom Brady wants to come back into the league next year, there's going to be teams that want to sign him. So, I mean, at a certain point, it's about the individual, and it's not about their age or anything. It's about what they've learned and just a lot of stuff. And then, like, for you to say, like, you like Brock Purdy last year, and like how we were talking, if he wouldn't have gotten hurt, possibly he would have made 2 Super Bowls this way. And you're saying that he you don't think he would, but you did say that every game he seems to get a little bit smarter.
Yes.
So I have to say, like, I agree with David Corona in the sense that I think if he wouldn't have gotten hurt, this would have been our second Super Bowl with Brock Purdy at the helm, just because of his maturity level and his experience. But hey, guys, great conversation, great topic. But my power kicked me off my computer tonight. I'm on my phone. I need to get in. And David, thanks for having me on tonight.
Let me give you my Xfinity code. You got this, BC. You got this.
No, it's not my. No, I actually have a power issue when it starts blowing wind, windy or something, or I don't know. Even during the summertime, I have something that's happening that's causing my power to kick, and then I have to turn my stove on to get my power to come on. And if you don't believe me, then that's fine, but I'm not lying. So I got to figure something out. I either have a bad breaker or I got a bad breaker panel, but the whole house is supposed to have been rewired.
You know who was lying? Detroit. Hey-o!
I'll see you guys.
All right, Brian. You have a good night.
Good night. But yeah, when it comes to him turning his oven on, I've actually seen this, folks. He is not lying. I've witnessed this firsthand.
Yep.
Wolf, buddy, what do you think about this? We're in the Super Bowl.
What's up, buddy?
Going up against Mahomes again.
I'm fucking pumped, man. I got an answer for Gavin's question. He said how many first round quarterbacks has Brock Purdy beaten? All of them.
Yeah, you got that right.
If you think about it, it's a good way to think about it.
I'm dead serious.
That's true, though. He didn't beat Burrow.
Highest rated quarterback in the NFL, so he beat all of them at his position.
He beat everybody except Burrow. Yeah.
Except for Burrow.
I think
Joe
he's
Burrow.
talking more about like the overall rating of what Purdy's done this year.
I mean, did you say Joe Burrow?
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, and I think he also too he lost to Mahomes last.
And Lamar.
That's when CNC came in.
When he was playing.
But he's beaten a lot, like a lot of others. But so it hasn't been like 100%. But I just gotta say, what kind of product have you put in your hair? Because I am lost right now, but it looks fucking amazing.
That what? What was it?
The product that you put in your hair.
Oh, I don't put it in.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It's just good old natural scalp grease. Just kidding. Just natural.
Oh, I don't have hair, so if I did, and then I had that would be.
Looks good on you, man.
Oh my gosh! The only thing that would be more amazing is if you had that kind of hair and you could clap on rhythm. That would be incredible.
This guy. Hey, well, yeah, guys, I'm super fucking excited for the Super Bowl. During that game, just like everybody else, I was probably doubting a little bit I never lost faith, but I was like, wow, we really might lose this right now, man. I was really fucking scared. I was waiting. I think I might have said this actually during the Packers game. I was waiting to hear like, oh, Trent Williams is retiring. Like, I was already seeing it. I was like, man, we better come out at halftime and have a fucking miracle. Sure enough, that's what happened, man. I did get demoralized when we came out and we drove down the field to just get a field goal, but at least there was some points. So I didn't completely lose hope at that point. Then we get that turnover, so that was badass. It was funny because Rob Stats-Guerrera, I heard him mention that he fell over when the fumble happened. And it's hilarious because I actually jumped up so crazily that I don't know, I hit like one of my kids' toys and I fell on my ass. I was celebrating so hard for that celebration, the fumble.
You want to hear my story? So it's halftime. We're getting beat. I'm going, man. and I feel dirty.
Let's go.
So hop in the shower, right? And I come out. Haven't even dropped myself off yet. I poke my head around and I'm looking at the TV and we're driving. I'm like, okay. So I continue to drive myself off and then
you're saying there's a chance.
You know how I'm superstitious. So I'm like, I'm staying this way for the rest of the game, and I watch it.
Don't make it. Hell yeah.
I'm superstitious, okay? It's like I walk out that way, we start winning. All right. It's like
hell yeah.
The Super Bowl.
Do that again in 2 weeks.
McNiner, you were wearing a suit. It was your birthday suit.
That's right.
Hey, McNiner, when you do that again, go take a shower, pop your head again, and just stay how you are.
No.
Yeah. If anyone's gonna come watch the Super Bowl with me, I'm warning you right now. You better be ready.
Hell yeah.
David McNiner, I too have a bathrobe, and I am ready.
I saw a video actually of the NFC Championship game. It was one of the reels on Instagram. This wife, she's recording the game. She walks outside, and her husband is peeking through the blinds of the window from outside the house because of the exact same superstition. She's like, "What the heck are you doing outside, Kyle?" He's like, "Well, we didn't start scoring. We didn't start winning till I came outside. So now I got to watch the game from outside."
It's the same thing.
I just want to clarify. I just want to clarify something for chat because Steve-O said when I said my bathrobe, it's a straight bathrobe, so there's not any lightsaber crossing or anything like that. So, but it's big enough for me and McNiner to definitely share for sure.
Do you have a little bit of Italian in you, buddy?
I'm just saying, Oh my goodness.
Am I the only one who was more the Packer game than this Lions game?
Sorry, I'm sorry.
I said, well, am I the only one that was more nervous during the Packer game than the Lions game, or even heading into the Super Bowl?
No, I don't think you were. I was way more nervous than the Packer game when the Lions game happened. I was hammered just talking shit. Like I was with actually like a Bengals fan, so I'm in the military, right? So I watch these games I don't get to watch these games with like other Niners fans. So I just watch these games with other people who are fans of like other teams. And where everyone else is pointing out these things, like Niners fans are going like, Chase Young is lazy, blah, 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 blah. These other fans, like, and were unbeknownst, but they're going like, oh shit, it looks like, did it look like, some of our other linemen were kind of lazy on certain other plays. And I was like, oh my God, you're kind of right. So sometimes when it seems like I get this nuanced kind of perspective and it looks like I've watched it like 20 times, it's really because someone else that I'm sitting there in the military points something else out. Or sometimes when someone goes like, well, how can you be friends with the Rams fan? It's like, because I'm in the military and like I'm gonna have to die next to this motherfucker. Like I don't have you know what I mean? Like
you don't got a choice.
Yeah, you kind of get along with these people. But somebody pointed out where Nick Bosa was kind of lazy against a couple runs, and I haven't said that like on like a big medium or a big platform, because let's be honest, if I did that, people would come after me like you're a fucking asshole and be like, well, it was 2 plays out of like 60. But believe it or not, but like even Nick Bosa gets a little lazy, and so I haven't pointed, but also too, like I don't know how to record the games. Use
if you make feel any better, I've gotten in a lot of trouble with a lot of people for calling out Fred Warner throughout this year for all his sloppy missed
Fred
tackles.
Warner's a saint. You don't do that.
I'm gonna be honest with you. This is this game we got Travis Kelce coming to town, right? So All Pro Fred.
No.
Let's see you cover him.
No. So Fred Warner is great if a tight end runs straight or whatnot, but Travis Kelce doesn't. The problem with Travis Kelce is he doesn't actually run actual routes. Like his job is just to, like if you watch like what the routes that he runs. So I want everybody to try this, okay? Go on like do the watch the game and then with like a pen or a pencil like just like an exact like a where you can erase it off of the TV, but then start drawing, like go off of like put it to 0.25 speed on YouTube, and then start tracing the route that Travis Kelce starts running, and you start to realize, bro, he doesn't run fucking routes. Like there's a reason why he's on guard. He doesn't run fucking routes. Like so Mahomes, he goes to his predicted routes, and he goes like, well, shit, I'm plumb out of fucking luck. And then he goes like, well, there's Kelce. And then I'll just dart it to fucking him. And that's what he does. Because Mahomes has a fucking arm, he just goes, boop. And so when I try to tell people Kelce's going to get like 11 catches for 139 yards and like a touchdown, they'll go like, oh, you doubt Warner and it's like, no, I don't doubt them, but a linebacker is not meant to be like a slot cornerback. Like they're meant to just chase a motherfucker straight to a point and then sit in that spot in that area. They're not meant to like when you were in like grade school and
he's like Gronkowski. He doesn't want to run routes.
I remember I had this thing called Thunderbolt, and
I think the 49ers will at least get one pick off Patrick Mahomes.
You know what I mean? Like
I
had a thing called the lollipop, and it was like nothing but like circles upon circles. Like that's what fucking Travis Kelce runs. He runs thunderbolts and lollipops the entire fucking time.
Izzy, I don't mean to cut you off. The reason why I was more nervous about Green Bay because Green Bay was a better team than Detroit. The standings didn't mean nothing. The standings didn't mean nothing. That's why I held the Niners more accountable for that Lions first half. And the young man right here in the blue, he brought up something I brought up about 20 minutes ago when I said urgency, taking plays off. You hungry? You work through that. Michael Jordan played with a 101 fever. Niners that beat the Broncos, they had problems. They worked through it.
Well, the Tylenol took Michael Jordan's fever down to like
90. That's but still though, you suck it up and you go. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I tell my wife. Hey-o.
No, I mean, shit.
I understand what you're coming from. I'm not disagreeing with you. That's why I asked. I really got an answer out of it. Was who do you think on this defense breaks that 6-game streak? Because that's like a thing. And I'm really curious.
I can tell you who can do that.
First sack, interception, fumble, or whatever.
I think we get at least a pick.
You know what we did right against Mahomes the first Super Bowl? We was hitting him. We was making him hear them steps in the back.
Yeah.
We was hitting him. Just like I know you like I know there's some people that like the Golden State Warriors. When the Golden State Warriors played the Houston Rockets, they could have won if they would have fouling and hitting what's his name? Steph Curry. If you hit somebody enough, I mean, not dirty, but if you keep hitting them, they start hitting stuff in the back.
Light the beam.
So I mean, I'm good. I love stats and facts. I love that. But back to basics. If you keep hitting him, it's just like when Rocky fought that Russian. You keep hitting him, he's gonna go down.
I've
I've seen quarterbacks I've seen the Jim Kelly, the Warren Moons. I've seen better quarterbacks, but this one right here, he's another.
Yeah.
He's another. What's that one? He's another Russell Wilson. Backyard football don't last forever.
No, he's not.
That sounds like a Destiny Child song. But no, you hit him. He'll go down and he'll start to mess up.
No, not at all.
You don't think so? We almost if we would have kept hitting him and start running the ball. Now I'm not trying to, and I agree with Mostert. If we would have started running the football, we would have won that Super Bowl.
Oh, hell yeah.
If we would start running the football instead of going past Happy,
yeah.
Because I'm old school.
And why is that? Why is that? Why is it if we would have kept running the football?
Because that would have killed the clock.
You can hit this man over and over. You can hit Burrow over and over. And we hit Mahomes over and over. But we have to win time of possession, which goes back probably we have to go 35 minutes back in the video, where I said time of possession is the killer of this team, because the big thing was that the reason why they beat Lamar Jackson, right? Look at it. And I said this when I was watching the game, and I didn't even have a clock or a watch on me, but I was watching with some of the military people. But I was like, you know what? I think that the Chiefs had the ball 35 minutes for the game. Lo and fucking behold, they had the ball for 37 minutes of the game. Well, shit, guess what? You only give Lamar 23, 24 minutes of the ball. It's probably a good thing for your defense. But that was my big thing, was everyone keeps praising this defense like there's this unholy matriarch. But even our defense in the reason why we lost 2019, everyone's going to go well, Chris Garoppolo didn't make that throw to Emmanuel Sanders. No, it's because our defense ran out of gas. This defense is not going to run out of gas. And so it's going to be a very hard thing. I have no voice on 49ers media or anything else. I just try the best I can to be as honest as I can, clairvoyant, clear, and just try to put out the corrective. This defense doesn't run out of gas. And so
I mean, I'm going to ask you this. So you believe passing the ball, throwing the ball is better than running the ball when you have a lead?
No, I would run the ball.
Hold on. Because see, my thing is this. I grew up, when I get a lead, I'm killing the clock. I'm running the ball. And I agree with Mostert, now who's with the Dolphins. Sure. We should have kept running the ball.
Sure.
Damn the fact that we threw the ball and Jimmy missed. That's one time. We could have kept running the ball because that's just one play.
Yes.
That's just one play. We could have kept running the ball.
Sure. Yeah,
I mean,
so I'll answer your question right now. A pass, and I think that was the greatness of Bill Walsh.
So you a pass guy.
That was the greatness of Bill Walsh. Bill Walsh understood, right? And I really feel like there's a guy on the 49ers, and I want you to answer this question for me. Who is one of the greatest 49ers running backs who is his number's not retired and he's not in the Hall of Fame, but he really should be?
Roger Craig.
But why is that? Because he did something that Marshall Faulk did, right?
He was before his time.
Before his time. And then guess what? And everyone called the 49ers in the 80s a finesse offense because they were throwing the ball for 3 to 5 yards, which was the exact same as a run that people didn't consider it that same. So my brother, right? Like, you're asking me a question, and
I'm still waiting.
so I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna look at Christian McCaffrey. I'm gonna look at Deebo Samuel, because people go like, Deebo Samuel's not. I was on a Panthers podcast 3 weeks ago, and they were like, Deebo Samuel's just a running back, right? And I was like, well, it's kind of hard to say that when he had 1,600 yards of receiving with over 600 yards of rushing. So I would say this. A 3-yard rush is no damn different than a 3-yard pass, but all comes down to your personnel and your execution. So I'm going to answer your question like this. Yes, I think
One or
it's
the other.
just as good.
No, I want one or the other. Are you a run or pass guy? I mean, I love cute analytics, but are you a run or pass guy?
I'm a West Coast offense kind of guy. I'm not a Dan Coriel kind of guy. I'm not a this or that. I'm not a spread offense. I'm a West Coast kind of guy. So, and if I'm going to go off of, and I've watched so much of Bill Walsh and some of his other teachings, right, that are there on YouTube. If he said that there's no difference between like a 3 to 5 yard pass versus a 3 to 5 yard rush, if he said Bill Walsh, not me, but if he said there's no difference, then I'm gonna say there's no difference because I'm not smarter than Bill Walsh, and I damn sure ain't smarter than Mike Shanahan or Kyle Shanahan.
Boy, you ought to work in a divorce court with that. But I've
what
seen.
Would you say? What would you say? What would you say?
I'm gonna say it quicker because I'm a pat. When I get a lead like that, let's say I'm coaching. Let's say I'm Kyle and I'm coaching that Super Bowl.
How did it work out with the Ravens?
No. Let me go and finish.
I'm gonna let you finish.
If I had that lead that Kyle had, and I have those same 3 running backs, I'm running the ball. I'm killing the clock. I'm not doing no fancy. I know I'm the West Coast, but I'm handing off because you know what? All it takes for you is to drop it, and that stops the clock. And that's not how you win. Ask the Buffalo Bills when they played the Giants.
Let's ask the Denver Broncos. Instead of there's a big difference between having Jimmy Garoppolo and Raheem Mostert versus having Terrell Davis and John Elway.
I'll take Elway in that one.
I would take Terrell Davis in that one too.
But that's different. I mean,
that is different. And so when you're asking me this, so you're asking me a nuanced question, and you're wanting me to be hard up on one or the other. But I'm taking John Elway and Terrell Davis over Raheem Mostert and Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh, anybody do that?
Yeah, damn right.
That's all day. I mean,
I know.
Exactly.
I'm talking where you're going.
I would take Brock Purdy and CMC over Jimmy Garoppolo and Raheem Mostert too.
But all Jimmy had to do was just hand off the ball. That's all he had to do, just hand off the ball.
So, I think I could give my perspective because I coached, I played. When it comes to when you have a lead and say you have 10 minutes on the clock in the fourth quarter and say the lead's 20-7.
Okay.
My job as a coach is to get a first down, move the chain. So if that's running the football to get 10 yards, you got 4 plays, on fourth down, you punt it because if you're still in your territory. Or what you could do is throw short passes where it's catchable and you're basically moving a little at a time. And sometimes you get the first down, you may get like 5-6 yards. The point is that you want to keep the chains moving. As you get closer and closer to your territory, then you can start saying, hey, let's go for it. We're in our territory. And you're wasting the clock as a coach's perspective. Yes, running the football to get the first down, because if you're trying to get like 15 yards and you're going to try to run the ball, no, you basically try to get the first down 10 yards at a time. That's how you milk the clock. Because say you go 5 minutes, then say you kick a field goal, it's 23-7 now. There's 5 minutes left on the clock. You play defense. See, you play by moving the chains. That's why in the fourth quarter, when I watch football games in the fourth quarter and the Niners have the lead, all I care about is first down. I don't care about 15 more points on the board. That's just my thoughts.
Yeah, my other thing too is I think that's my biggest correlation is that he really wanted like a John Elway. He wanted Terrell Davis. He had kind of a watered down version with Jimmy Garoppolo and Raheem Mostert. And the way that the Chiefs were playing us, they weren't giving us a goddamn thing. Like nothing. Like he was actually kind of like trying. He really was. But Chris Jones, because at that time, right, it was Joe Staley and fucking nobody else on that offensive line. What's funny and ironic is that now we got Trent Williams, and fucking nobody else on this offensive line, and we're going against
I
Chris Jones
would
again?
push back there.
So
I
Niner
love
second.
Aaron Banks.
All right,
I
well,
love Aaron Banks.
who's our right guard
We have much better blocking now than we did then. So
to block Chris Jones?
Hey,
First team this year, first team All Pro Chris Jones against John Feliciano. Against John Feliciano.
Injured.
Hey, the Niners gonna get it.
Chris Jones got pancaked a couple of times last game.
That made him deadlier back then. And the Chiefs, you forget the Chiefs didn't have any luck in the playoffs back then with Alex Smith. You remember there was a game, I think it was Wild Card Weekend, where Alex Smith was fighting his ass off and they were dropping.
I'm not talking about Alex Smith. 2019.
There was a player falling out of the game. And you forget that they felt so robbed against Tom Brady the year before because Dee Ford was offsides. Like, it's a very, very different team.
I agree, and that's what I've been saying is that this 2023 team I think would beat the 2019 49ers team. And I think it'd be and I think it would be a little bit different. And also too, I don't think the 2019 Chiefs team. This 2023 Chiefs team is as good as the 2009. So I think that there's that levity or that brevity, whichever word that you want to use, with that. But I do think though at the same time, who was the right guard in 2019 that was guarding Chris Jones?
McGlinchey. No, McGlinchey was a tackle.
No, he was a tackle.
Big guard.
I don't think we even had Brunskill, did we?
Yeah, it was Brunskill.
We did have Brunskill, but he was a swing tackle at that point.
So this would be my point, right? Is like Feliciano's going to be a weak link, and here's the thing: 4 years later, Chris Jones, this year he was a first team All Pro, not second team, not a Pro Bowler, like first team All Pro, 10.5 sacks.
So then, who would you have at right guard? Would you prefer Feliciano or Burford?
What I would prefer is that we go back to something similar in the 2019 season, to where we had a moving pocket and we have a very mobile quarterback. And I think that's our best chance to win. So I think if you move the pocket around, and then you have Christian McCaffrey, who's the most intelligent running back that I've seen in, God, I don't know. How many years do we want to go back? But I think that's something that's underrated with Christian McCaffrey is how intelligent he is. I think we have to move that pocket. If we have that pocket moving and then we can do that, I think that's better. But we have to, because otherwise, Chris Jones, he killed us last time. We haven't really upgraded our right guard. I think he could kill us again. And again, like
Michael Person?
Yeah.
You know the Niners gonna give the ball to Christian McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I mean? All day, every day.
Yep.
Yeah, we have a guy whose name I didn't even remember, Michael Person. I think he was gone after 2019 though.
Oh wow, that's like
Marky Person.
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 Yes.
Lynchy, Person, and Weston Richburg.
That's right. That was the center and the right side.
Yeah.
Now we got Brendel, who's average. We got Feliciano. The thing about Feliciano is he's big though. He's 6'5", 325. That's something he has going for him. But when it comes to his decision makings, if he sees the shit hitting the fan, he will take the lesser of two evils. And it's kind of a good thing to have at right guard. But McKivitt, I don't think he's been as bad as a lot of people think.
No, he really hasn't. He really hasn't. Neither is Chase Young. Neither is Chase Young.
The problem with
Feliciano
and Kivitt's together is that they don't get off blocks easily. And they kind of get distracted with all the movement. And so they leave wide ass open holes where if there isn't a George Kittle or a Jennings or a Charlie Warner or one of those people to come in and kind of save that gap, then Brendel's all the way past where Trent is supposed to be lined up because Trent crashes inside and it leaves this big wide open thing. And that's what is concerning about Chris Jones, because Chris Jones will take advantage of that, kind of like Hassan Reddick would take advantage of those natural open gaps on our O line.
Yeah, but and that's the beauty of having 2 weeks to prepare and get ready for a team, is that you can try to have.
They can't get ready for 2 weeks because next week is all media row where they have to be interviewed like every single second of every day.
That's false. So yes, technically you're correct, Melissa. Technically you're correct. But even we've seen so many reports and so many stories where somebody like in the staff kind of thought about something or came up with something that ended up being like a winning decision, and they implemented it and they practiced it and they tried it. Like everyone here is digging and fishing for good ideas. Like the good thought fairies are like in full attack mode right now, right? Like this is the time where you bring in like a guy like Bill Belichick, even though you have a full staff and everything else, to go ahead and then give you some extra outside input in scouting, not just against the enemy team, but against your team, right? Like to be the bad agents. So like any business, any strong business that you have, right? Like you're gonna hire an outside team to see if they can hack into your company.
Hey, they need to give the ball to Juice more. You know what I mean?
They may, and they're gonna dial it up. I think that's the biggest thing is like I said this earlier on Croc Show. I said that Juwan Jennings is the most underrespected offensive player that we have on the 49ers. And I said that I will take him every single day against the Kansas City Chiefs. The most disrespected, like the most understated kind of offensive player that we have on the 49ers team. Even though the Chiefs, their nickel cornerback is first team all pro. But my thing is, because I had somebody else that they said, they countered and they said, well, how many times does Juice and Juwan Jennings catch the ball? They're not doing it for all quarters of the game. And I said, it's not about these guys playing all 4 quarters. It's about the moments that they need to come alive. And I trust these guys to come alive, especially when the play is drawn for them by Kyle Shanahan. Like those 3 to 4 plays, I trust.
And so, like, Juwan Jennings, like you said, is not respected mostly around the league. Now, like,
no.
I believe that Spags will take him seriously. That's the difference. Because Spags has been doing this for decades, right?
Sure.
But I think it is a natural thing for them to not want to be beat by the bigger headed monsters. So that would be a George Kittle, a Brandon Ayuk, a Deebo Samuel, maybe Kyle Juszczyk. And those guys will be more on the radar of them putting a stop to. But I think the one thing, especially in the playoffs, that has kind of been proven about Juwan Jennings is that not only does he get open, but when things get ugly and Purdy needs that one read right before he's about to be sacked or hit, Juwan Jennings is wide ass open and Purdy kind of knows and feels where he is. And that's why those big moments between the Packer game and the Lion game became so viral, is because Juwan Jennings came up when his team needed him the most. And I've been calling him the clutch king for years. But
I've been saying this since I lived out here in Tennessee. But yeah.
Here's another thing that I think a lot of people are kind of like overshadowing is that, yes, they've stepped up a little bit this playoff season, but he does not have the same kind of protection the way he used to have. And I'm talking about Patrick Mahomes. both of those tackles have been really sloppy all year long.
Mhm.
As much as I love Creed Humphrey and I wanted him to be a Niner, Creed Humphrey has shown cracks this entire playoffs. And they get a
Okay.
lot of penalties and they get a lot of.
Say that name again one more time so I can write that down.
Creed Humphreys.
Creed Humphrey.
Creed Humphrey.
I want him too. I want.
Yeah, the
Hey,
funny part,
let's not remember we're not talking off season yet.
I used to call into Breezy Show all the time, and
we
I
got
hear
one more game,
how
right?
used to go at each other because he'd give me such crap because I would always mock draft Creed Humphrey to the Niners, and of course he was there. And then we trade down, and then we get Aaron Banks because Aaron Banks and McGlinchey went to Notre Dame together.
You don't like Notre Dame?
I don't like
Oh,
McGlinchey.
No.
I did McFloppy. I that McFloppy, and it was a viral story. Y'all can say it's untrue or whatever, but it was by multiple people verified that McGlinchey was in the room during that draft, day 2, and he kept saying, "This is my former teammate. You know who would be really good for us? My former teammate." And remember that was right after Joe Staley retired. And McGlinchey was kind of struggling without Joe Staley, and he was switching to that vegan diet, and then he was getting like really slim. And they wanted to bring in someone who they thought would like with Nick Bosa. They brought in Chase Young to light the fire under their butts by bringing in their former college teammate. And I respect and love Aaron Banks now, but back then, I hated the pick.
I did too. And I just want to say this to Brian Cole. Can we highlight that the no off season talk?
Yes.
Yeah. I just want to say, when we do go to the off season, I would never trade this man for anything at all, unless it's like 2 first-round picks. Then Brian, you might be in some trouble. but I do want to say though, Huh?
Did you
Bryant.
say you would trade?
Not
he's talking
you.
about Bryant.
Not you. You will never be traded. Okay. Okay. You're safe. You're safe. You're the Nicholas John Bosa of this whole circle.
She's getting traded to the New York Giants to the 49ers.
No.
But yeah,
Corona,
I mean,
I could promise you this, okay? I will never root for the Seahawks. I don't even care if it benefits the Niners. I can't do it. I just can't. My next can't is the Packers.
hold on, let me write this down. Give me a second here.
Okay.
Seahawks, Packers.
Then it's the Ravens.
Ravens.
Because
I went to that Christmas game last year.
Okay.
This year.
Then it's the Giants, and then it's the Chiefs.
Where's the Cowboys at?
Cowboys and Jets are kind of like that 6th rung, 7th rung.
Okay.
I haven't really decided on which one.
Brian,
Right.
you're a Cowboy now. You're a Cowboy.
I live here, and WFAN is full of Jet fans, and they're just so annoying. And I love the part of Hard Knocks where they actually had the audacity to come on and have that weird magic guy and say they're going to face the Niners in the Super Bowl and beat them like 23-10 or something weird. And they showed Aaron Rodgers, cocky little ass, loving it. He couldn't even make it 4 plays into the league, so
You can't
And
say
we do play the Jets next year in New York.
Yeah.
no, we don't play it.
We do.
Izzy, stay in Texas. All these people, after we beat the Cowboys, they have that same look on their face all them people had on their face when President Kennedy was shot. That's all you see now.
Can we do a quick around the horn? I want to do this. I want to do this now because next week is probably going to change when the media and everyone else has gaslighted all the fan bases to a different answer. But I want to do this, and then Mr. McNiner, do you have like a tablet or a pen or a paper where you can kind of write this down, just see how much things have changed? I just want this for a what do you call that? Like a social experiment. A social
Yeah, we
experiment.
just we gotta
And I here's the biggest thing. I want everyone here to be honest. Okay, everyone here to be honest right now, and to be honest later. Bryant, you're a part of this too, even though you're in chat. Okay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start from Mr. Niner Gang Wolfcast, and then we're gonna go counterclockwise. So it's gonna go to Damien, to Melissa, to David, to me. Okay, and then it's kind of go serpentile kind of around there. I want everyone to give two things out of a scale of 1 to 10. Okay, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, which your confidence level is about the 49ers. And then I want you to give what you think the score for the game will be. We're gonna give a good 15 seconds for everyone to
You
have
do
some
realize
reflect.
a lot of people hate giving score predictions, right?
I'm saying for right now because we got 2 weeks and a lot of things are going to change. Nick Wright's going to be on there. Keyshawn Johnson. I just want this
Nick Wright.
social experiment. Social experiment.
You guys give him way too much freaking power. This is an idiot that got a 20-0 tactic before the year started, and he couldn't even go out of week 1 without a loss.
We say that now, but we're going to see. Okay, so everyone you have to promise that when you get new information over this next week, that when you reflect and you change, you have to state that. Okay, so we're gonna start here with Mr. Niner Gang Wolfcast. Okay, the man who says he doesn't have any product in his hair, but we all know it's Moose. Okay, so we're gonna start with that.
Well, I promise I don't have any product in my hair. Confidence level of that is 10 out of 10. So the first question, that was confidence level on 49ers winning. What was the second part?
Is the score, your score prediction?
Oh yeah. Confidence level.
So what was your confidence level out of 10?
I would say 8 out of 10.
Okay, 8 out of 10. Okay, David, you got that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
then
the
score prediction.
49ers 34.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Chiefs 23.
Fuck yeah.
I would love that.
Okay. All right, Melissa?
Mine is 7 out of 10.
Well, 7's the lucky number.
And my score prediction is 28 Niners, 21 Chiefs.
Wait, hold on. So wait, say that again. 20?
28
Niners.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
28.
21 Chiefs.
Got it. Okay.
2021, she's saying.
Got it. I missed that. Okay. I thought she said 20 49ers, 21 Chiefs. I was like, damn.
No.
Okay. Go ahead, David.
Corona.
Oh, right there?
Yep.
I'll give it a 9. And 34-34, last minute field goal by Jake Moody. 37-34 Niners.
Dang.
I love it.
37-34. Jake Moody one from the right hash.
This entire family is all batshit crazy everywhere.
That's getting an HA for heart attack.
I want to put a quick pause on this. So the chat is saying it's not Friday, it's not time for this. Okay, so again, to preface this, all I want to do was say like a week, because we have 2 weeks. There's going to be a lot of new information that comes out. People are going to go with DVOAs, people are going to be pulling shit from their Johnny Hind parts that are going to persuade people's point of views and how they feel about the game. So all I want to do is, because I know that we're going to do this next week, I just want to kind of get baseline, a baseline, and then
example before Radio Row starts fucking with everyone's head.
Sure, there you go. Before we get poisoned, and that's all. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted to do. I'm not trying to derail anything. That was it. Before we get pre-poisoned with the analysis by paralysis, that was it. So, chat. That's all I'm trying to do. Damien.
Oh. Hold on. We got Damien, but we got Beto. We got Niner Sickness up in here.
What's up, Niner Sickness?
What's cracking? What's up? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying something different here. How you guys doing, gentlemen?
You had to answer
good.
Score prediction, buddy.
Well,
right,
first your confidence level out of 10, and then score prediction.
My confidence level is 8, and I have the score 27-21 Niners.
Okay, we'll go to Niner Sickness pod after this.
I'm sorry. Go to what?
We're going to you, sir.
So the current question is, what is your confidence level out of 10 that the Niners are going to win, and what's your current score prediction?
Well, man, as long as Patrick Mahomes is playing, that defense got better for the Chiefs. The offense got worse. They don't have those Tyreek Hill type of receivers that if they fall behind 2 scores, that they can, come back. But Patrick Mahomes is crazy. If we start the way we started against the Lions and the Packers, I'm not going to be too happy about it. But if we start the way we started against the Cowboys or the Eagles and kind of put our foot down and take control of the ball, I'm pretty confident we can beat them. Because if we decided to do a shootout and both defenses step up, I think our defense can take care of their offense much better than their defense can take care of our offense, and I think we can win this game. And I see the score being 34-28.
And what's your confidence? What is your confidence level?
About a 7.
Okay. All right. I like that. Okay.
Hi, big bro.
Hey, Melissa, how you doing, sweetie?
Okay.
Always good to see you.
Damien?
He did. He did 8 out of 10 and 27-21 Niners.
Okay. All right. I'll go ahead.
We're up to you, Gammon.
Yes, we are. I'm gonna say 9. Okay.
Oh, Gammon, I didn't know that was you, bro.
Yeah, no, it's me. My name's right there.
I didn't look at it. Yeah, and nice to finally see your face.
I'm just glad that you looked at my face. That's the only thing that's really important to me here.
So 9,
you never seen Gammon ever before?
No, I heard you always on. I hear you a lot on my boy. I'm bad with names. Don't.
I can.
Jesse later. You're always on.
Really?
Yeah, that's my boy. Man.
Okay. Yeah, Jesse. Cool.
So you going 9?
Gammon, weren't you also on a Breezy show once? Like right after.
Yeah, I really like Breezy. I really tried to help some of his Discord stuff and everything like that. But 9 out of 10, and I'm gonna say the score prediction is 23-17, and I'm gonna be 1,000% 10 toes down. If anything changes, I'm going to change. If I change my 9 out of 10 or anything else on my score prediction, what I want to do is I want to put down the why. And I want for all of us here when we come back, okay, and then there's more people. Here's what I want to know. I want to know why and it's not bad if it changed. You don't have to be like a hardcore. Don't Tupac us, okay? Just put down why it changed. I'm going to say 23-17 49ers, and I'm a 9 out of 10 on that. Okay.
John Day in the chat's got 8 out of 10 and 32-22.
Okay. And I went
John Jay, I know you don't do score predictions. But what do you got here, buddy?
Well, again, I've seen this show before so many times, and I don't like to repeat myself, but I'm going to repeat myself. Like, how confident am I on the 49ers?
Sure.
We're in the Super Bowl. So that's confidence. We're playing Patrick Mahomes. So it's not going to be like we're going to run them over with a train, if you understand the metaphor. So basically, it's always 50-50 for me. So, it's, currently right now it's 50-50. The game hasn't started yet. Score predictions, like McNair said, I don't really do score predictions. I think this is going to be a little reminder of the 2019. Probably 30 points is going to be the team that wins. And I want the Niners to win, so I'm going to have the Niners 30. And I'm going to have and I'm going to give Kansas City the score of 20.
Okay, but you have to go out of your confidence in this.
He already did.
Well, he said 50-50.
He did.
So that's
He said
5 out of 10.
So that's 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
I just wanted,
that's 5 out of 10.
I wanted to hear him state it, but that's fine. And then Bryant, he's. Can you highlight that, Mr. McNiner?
What, the 10 toes webbed or not?
No. Further up. It's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up.
So he got 50-50, score 42-24.
Yeah, that one.
And we got Steve-O 8.5, 8, 10, 32, 22. He didn't say what team.
Okay. And again,
This is Niners, buddy. It's Niners. Come on.
Oh yeah.
If that happens,
so
I would love that.
That'd be insane. But again, the biggest thing here is that we're going off of this information, but everyone else, we're gonna get bombarded. Like we're gonna have all these Hall of Famers, everything else coming out, all these people talk, and then we're gonna get new information. So if you feel the next time that we come around, right, like next Friday, okay, and you feel like you want to change, that's okay. But the biggest thing that I want everyone here, this is the biggest thing, everyone here who's listening, give everybody the why. And I think that is the most crucial, important thing. Change your answer, but give us the why. Oh, Dan Orlovsky said this, and then that swayed me. But that's important. That's important information because then.
What about McNiner?
Yeah, it's my turn. So I got us winning. My confidence level is a 7 out of 10.
Oh, I thought it was a 10 out of 10.
No. You're going up against the best team in the AFC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or at least they won the AFC. My score prediction, I'm going 24-21 Niners.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Wow, McNiner, we almost had the score prediction. Only a 4-point difference.
Can we get Steve-O and then Crazy Juice added on?
Okay, hold on.
I got Steve-O's in.
We got Crazy Juice 50-50, 24-21. The same score you got, McNiner.
Crazy Juice.
24-21.
I got a question.
That's a heart attack game.
What is it? Was it Mr.
Wolf?
So first and foremost, man, I think Womack should be active for this game. Man. I think we're gonna need secondary help. Make sure these guys don't get gas. Keep that rotation going good, and we'll see how Ambry's progressing. But my question is, it seems like recently, I mean, obviously Kyle's been choosing to defer the kickoff. Now, I have felt, okay, want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. I have felt that we've had a better result when we receive the ball, start out, because we're really good at scoring touchdowns on opening drives, setting the tone and making putting that pressure, that scoring pressure on the other team.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a flip side to that of, if we defer, we can stop the other team, make it a turnover on downs, and we get the ball and score. But I feel like we've had better success receiving the ball and playing from ahead than we have both times that we've deferred. We'd have to make a comeback. So what are your guys' thoughts? You guys have a preference on deferring or versus receiving or not? Do you think it doesn't matter?
David?
What's up? One more time.
So his question is, do you have a preference on deferring or receiving the kickoff? Because you know how if you defer it, you get it to start the second half, right?
I'll kick the ball and let Patrick Mahomes get the ball first, and after that, and I'll get the ball starting in the third quarter.
Okay, so you prefer to defer. I actually would prefer to take the ball.
You think that when we defer more often, do we come out
You
sluggish?
like to get the ball first?
Let David answer because
So I would prefer to take the ball because start running the ball down their throats, eat the clock, score a touchdown. You start to wear that defense out early.
Yeah.
So there's multiple reasons why we should take the ball, but it's kind of not what Kyle does.
I'll kick the ball first. So we'll say we down or down by 3, or we up and we score before the half. We get the ball starting in the third quarter.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go like a different answer because I know like Mayor Sickness Pass and then the lone wolf over there who's driving and kind of listening with the moose in his hair. This is for you guys, okay? I'm gonna go big brain on this, okay? I'm gonna do an onside kick. So not only do I kick it, but then I get the ball back, and then I just run it down their throat. Right? So that's my.
What team did that in the Super Bowl and they got the ball?
Gammon's 49ers. That's who. Okay.
It was the Saints did that on the Colts.
Oh, okay, yeah. Hell yeah.
And they won. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was gutsy by
Yeah,
Tom
but the
Payton.
rules for the onside kick are different now.
I'm going full
And-
boat
No,
riverboat Ron on this one.
I don't care if you prefer deferring or getting the ball first. I'd rather have either one of those than give Patrick Mahomes a short field and get a full head of steam.
Somebody just needs to kidnap his ass, lock him in the storage somewhere, and then
or when he goes to Vegas, they put something in his drink and he can't play.
What movie was that where like somebody wasn't like a Damon Williams movie where they were like they kidnapped like a Celtics player or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, what movie was that?
We got
Can't think of the
Wolf.
name.
What's up, Wolf?
But I would love to do that, man.
Okay, well I'll meet you at the Las Vegas airport.
Yeah. We'll pay Mahomes a visit.
Actually, yeah, I was saying I volunteer as tribute, and I actually after the 2019 Super Bowl, I have taken a trip to Kansas City, and we were spending the night at the casino there. And I asked the lady when we're checking into the hotel if the Chiefs ever go by there, then Patrick Mahomes. She's like, yeah, he comes in sometimes, and he brings his family and stuff. And I told her, well, next time he comes in, tell him I'm looking for him. I'm gonna bust his fucking kneecaps.
Yeah. Well,
dang,
Wolf, you can't do it this year. You can't do it this year. We
Apparently
need you.
you don't, bro.
Yeah, we need you for the repeat. Okay, so save that energy for the repeat.
You know that play when Patrick Mahomes almost twisted his ankle and he still almost got out of it against Baltimore?
I thought that guy went. I didn't think it was his ankle. I thought that was his ACL. I was like, shit. He got flown like a lawn chair, and he just decided to keep going. I was like, good lord.
Same thing last year. Look, he was limping and off the field, and he went to the locker room at halftime. I know he got a cortisone shot, and after that he came back. He was good.
I want to start one last thing before I personally get off, but I kind of want to do this. We're going to start down here with Melissa, then we'll go to Nair Sickness Pod, then we'll go to Wolf, and we're going to do the serpentine kind of thing. But I want everybody to think of like their favorite like show when they were a kid. So it could be like when you're 9 years old or like a teenager or something like that, right? But what was like your favorite show that you kind of remember kind of just watching and that you just really, really liked when you were a kid? Okay. And Melissa, Lord help you if it's Ren and Stimpy. Okay, so pick something classic here to kind of start us off.
Okay, well, I hate to break it to you, but it is a cartoon. I can't decide because there's like 3 of them that mean my childhood. So I think the easy answer would be Batman the Animated Series. But
That was a good one. Yeah. That had the best on it, didn't it?
On that, it is the original Yu-Gi-Oh show and Dragon Ball Z.
Clutch.
I'm sorry, I can't kind of choose. It's like I love Batman the Animated Series. It made so many things that I love spin off from it. But at the same time, I kind of can't give up the 2 of the 3 enemies that made my childhood. So
Melissa, you have to pick.
If I had to pick, like if you're gonna force me to absolutely pick,
yes,
I will go with Batman the Animated Series simply because Mark
Hamill. Yes,
I will die on the hill, and I will die on the hill that Kevin Conroy is the best thing that ever happened to Batman, and people do not give him the respect that he deserves.
Yes.
And the only good thing that came out of that god awful CW verse was that they finally put Kevin Conroy in the suit in a live action role for a cameo.
That is awesome. That is awesome as shit. All right. Nether Sickness Pod. What do we got?
Give me the question again. I'm sorry.
Okay, so
what was your favorite childhood TV show, Beto?
I'm sorry, you guys both came at the same time. What was it?
Favorite childhood TV show.
I'm gonna go a little bit of sci-fi. I grew up watching Ultraman. It was yeah, I used to love watching Ultraman and Johnny Sokko and his flying robot. Yep. These were my favorite TV shows growing up. I'm an old school guy.
I'm not gonna lie.
Did you ever expect me to say something Nickelodeon like Angry Beavers or Cat Dog or something ridiculous?
Never watched Nickelodeon in my life.
My mind is blown right now. Like so far,
He's
the
older.
first 2 answers.
I love my older brother, but he's like older.
Ultraman, that is fucking crazy. I love it. And you never watched any Nickelodeon, so you never saw like Hey Dude or nothing like that. So that's awesome as shit. All right. What, Mr. Wolfcast? Let's hear it.
All right, I got 2 of them.
No. Okay.
One for each stage of my childhood.
Sure.
First one, earlier part of my life, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Second one, second stage of my childhood into the teens, SpongeBob SquarePants.
I think that's there, but it's.
They couldn't be more opposite.
Really? I mean, they both had karate. I mean, depends on how you would explain it. Yeah.
Oh no.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, DC, what you got?
I got like 3 of them.
Only one.
You can only pick one.
One.
You only one?
Okay.
Pokemon? Oh, Ninja Turtles.
Kinda. But
Ninja
you had all 4.
The original TNT.
That's a bigger Squirtle.
Oh, hold on.
That's a big ass Squirtle.
Oh yeah. That and Popeye the Sailor Man.
Oh yeah. Olive oil.
Good
one. And Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry. Yeah. All right. Was that you, Damon?
Me, I would say mine is Married with Children.
Oh
God.
Ooh, Al Bundy.
Your parents didn't watch you at all, did they? Your parents must have been Raiders fans, and they were just like, you can watch whatever you want. You're like, I watch the 49ers and Married with Children. That's what happened.
I love Peggy Bundy.
Yeah, that was a good show.
Risky. You know what? So for me, mine is interesting. It's something that I've always wanted to show, or at least like I always felt like there should have been a movie for it, but it never happened. But I'm gonna go in a roundabout way like The Simpsons, but I always loved the Itchy and Scratchy show. Like I just always felt like it would have been so cool if there just would have been like every like so often there would have been like a 30-minute show of just Itchy and Scratchy. Just would have been absolutely incredible. So everyone who said like Tom and Jerry, I need a little bit more uptick in the violence, and that's why I like watching football right there. So I'll go ahead and pass that one off.
Yeah.
Peg Bundy. My good. You had the whole thing with her hair in the bun. Like you were just like that.
Yeah.
Hey, look, Marge Simpson, blue hair. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. It's all good. The hi-hat.
John Jay, what do you got, buddy?
All right, so I like Batman Beyond, but I'm gonna respect our good friend. He's the Batman guy. So there was so I didn't own cable, so there was a show called Men in Black, the animated series, and so I would watch that on Saturday on I forgot what channel. So that was a good show because I was a big fan of Men in Black, and that's not something kids should be watching, but I would watch that show. They also played Recess, which was another show I think on the ABC channel.
Yes, yeah, Disney. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then of course my final kid show after that, I just started watching sports was Power Rangers Dino Thunder. If anyone ever heard of that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So because my older brother was a huge fan of the original Power Rangers, and one of the characters was called Tommy Oliver. He became a teacher and he trained 3 teenagers. So those were 3 shows I watched as a kid.
I love you for mentioning Batman Beyond and Will Friedle.
Mm-hmm.
Like for real. I love
Mark
that.
Hamill's the legend.
Mark Hamill came on Batman Beyond in a special movie called Return of the Joker, which is awesome, by the way. It wasn't Masters of the Phantasm, but he did come back for one of the Batman Beyond films. The only one, actually. But you brought up Will Friedle like that.
I like Vision of Oz.
Hey, mine, and keep in mind, I wasn't watched much when I was a kid. Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No. Oh man, he must have lit shit on fire. What did you burn down, David? What did you burn down?
Yeah.
I remember when Beavis and Butthead came out, and they were almost gonna cancel the series because some kid had burned some shit down or lit something on fire, and I was like, "Good lord!" And lo and behold, now we have David McNider. David McNider, welcome. Thank you. Yeah.
But yeah, it's getting like really late where I'm at.
Fire. Yeah.
See, David Corona knows what I'm talking about. It's sad that show got canceled,
What show was that?
Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, Beavis and Butthead. Oh my goodness.
It came back.
It did. They made a new show. They restarted the series. Did you know that,
Cammy,
David?
you want to hear the funny part of why?
Are
Batman...
you serious? They
made
restarted.
new
David, they restarted. They started that show all over again not too long ago. No bullshit.
No, they said they canceled it because they were saying too much bad words, but they didn't want little kids to say the cussing words.
You're the luckiest man in the world because your show that you loved, they literally restarted that shit like 12 months ago or like 16 months ago.
Why?
And they, I don't know why. I'm not a gatekeeper. I have no idea why they did that.
You should have had the first one in the first place.
Because you got to give the people what they want.
No, the reason why they cancel shows now is so ridiculous. Like I remember I got into Young Justice a couple of years ago, and they canceled it because they weren't selling enough toys. Then it came back because the fans loved it so much.
David's the only one here who gets to rewatch his old show where they're making about like relevant stuff in today's like life. Like, David, you were the lucky. I this couldn't have worked out any better than any of us. So from 1 week from now, when we do our thing of like how everyone's feeling and blah blah blah, I'm gonna ask you, did you watch the new Beavis and Butthead Mike Judd like show? Like, and if you say no, I'm gonna send Wolfcast all the way over there to you.
Okay, you want to hear funny?
So we can look around the corner to your naked.
That's right. That's it.
Hey guys, I gotta tap
I gotta
out.
go too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's time. It's time. You know.
How long you guys been on here?
2
4
hours.
hours.
Almost 3 hours at this point.
Oh,
I
wow.
didn't plan on going that long.
It's been
It just,
3 hours?
you know, was going
Dang.
to.
Wow.
Been a pleasure as always. Everybody have
Yep.
a great night.
Yep.
It's good to see you again, Wolf.
You, bro.
All right,
You know,
Wolf. It's great to see you, buddy.
Okay.
In 2 weeks,
Later,
we get
Wolf.
Magic
2 weeks,
school
we
bus.
get Duck City.
Fuck yeah, Bryant.
Niner gang.
Yep, Super Bowl
Yeah,
coming
Duck
up.
City.
I can't
Like
wait.
Fred Warner.
And fuck all 31 other teams.
Yes, for
That's
Korey.
right.
For
That's
Korey.
Especially the Chiefs.
I don't know. I would, but they've got herpes and crabs, so I probably won't. But I
And like
absolutely
Ian
agree. with
McMahon says, after Lions.
Yes.
All right,
This is all
guys.
true,
Love
though.
you all. Thank
All
you.
right, man.
Okay.
All right, everybody, we're out. And, you know, as Corey Davis would say, and Wolf just said, go Niners and F all 31 other teams.
And like what me and McLennan say,